Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. It is Monday. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. I hope everyone had a great weekend. It was a hot one, and I hope you found a way to stay cool. Kyle, behind the glass for us as always. We will hear from Kyle and what he had going on this weekend. If you were one of the people that tried to get the Sweet Life with Allen Stiles, I don't know if we made that pick yet, so just hang tight. When I have that information, we will let you know, because I do hate that, right? It's almost like when you're looking for a job and you don't hear anything back, you just assume that you didn't get it. But I do, then you get annoyed when they do reach out to you and they say you didn't get it. But I do always like to know, okay, cool, I can officially take that out of my mind and my thought process. So that is where we are at with all of that, taking you up to 2 p.m. The Bulls offer Josh Giddey an amount of money that Josh Giddey probably thinks is an underpay. We'll tell you how much that is. The schedule release is here for the NBA as it starts to trickle out, and that will save us as we are deep into the offseason and the summer right now. Niners preseason action, some great things to take away, some not so great things to take away. We'll break down how you should feel about it. Also, just throughout the league, Shedeur Sanders took over the weekend once again. But I'm going to tell you this in this specific fashion. We had a conversation last week about which young QB from 2024, the 2024 draft specifically, which young QB would end up being a bust. Then I started looking around the league, right? I started looking around the league, and I'm looking at Bryce Young, who looked good in their preseason game. I started looking at just the Cam Wards of the world, all these guys, Drake May, and I started thinking, I want to expand on this. We had some fun with 2024, and thanks for everybody that kind of chimed into the 2024 conversation with my man Bo Nix, by the way. But I wanted to expand on it because this is one of the rarest, situations of hope in the NFL that we've ever seen. There's really only a handful of teams that right now aren't sure what they're doing at quarterback. I went through every single team. Now, that's not to say this is going to work, right? But it always feels like there are a decent amount of teams that aren't sure what they're doing at QB, and obviously injuries will come into the play. This is one of the golden ages. Now, that's not to say it's going to feel like that once the season is rocking and rolling, but right now, there's only about 3 or 4 teams that don't have a lot of hope at the quarterback position. And I find that fascinating because it's probably going to be more than that as the season progresses. We know one team is the Saints. We know one team's the Colts. And I guess we could say we know one team is the Jets, because as much as I like Justin Fields, I'm not really sure that he's your franchise guy. But outside of that, and there's a couple that you can throw into that conversation. Would you put the Bears in there with Caleb Williams? Because they just haven't seen enough yet. So, and there's also teams that have plans, right? The Seahawks, they have a plan. I don't know if Jalen Milroe is their guy, but they're going to do the thing where he sits and Sam Darnold is going to play. So a lot of teams have plans. There's only a couple teams that are kind of just shrugging their shoulders, not sure what's going on. Also, what is going on with the San Francisco Giants? They are now 1-8 against the Pirates, the Nationals, and the Marlins. 3 teams that are awful. The Marlins actually might end up catching the Giants, but the Pirates are awful. They have Andrew McCutchen, who makes me feel warm and fuzzy because we've been watching him for 15 years. The Nationals, who do have the Nationals are dang near the National League A's. That's kind of what they are. They can hit, but they stink and they don't really do anything else.
It's also really funny that the only good players on the team are the ones they traded for Juan Soto.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But the Giants, you started to see some type of pulse from Bob Melvin. 40,000 people out there. There's nothing to cheer about. But is it too late? Has Bob Melvin lost the clubhouse? Right? Now, the locker room, I guess it's still the locker room, but has Bob Melvin lost the clubhouse? So we'll talk about that. Tim McMahon confirmed something that we already know and that we've already been told, that the Kings are still in on Russell Westbrook. So we have that information for you, but not to bury the lead here. It's been quiet. It's been so quiet. Last week, we went over what Sam Amick told us at the beginning of the summer, and we rehashed how the offseason has currently looked. Domantas Sabonis, he was out doing his thing within the community, and he was nice enough to meet with the media, to meet with the Matt Georges of the world, the Sean Cunninghams of the world, and we have that sound in its entirety that we're going to play for you in about 30 minutes, because y'all know I've joked about Domantas Sabonis before, okay? How he kind of says nothing at all times. When he has a media availability, he really just doesn't say anything. He just goes about his business. He says all the cookie cutter stuff, and then he's out of here. Now, that kind of ended at the exit presser at the end of this season, where he said, I want to be included in some of these conversations about the organization. I want to be included when it comes to the coaching staff and things like that. We need a point guard. I want to be included in this stuff. So we started to see Domantas Sabonis open up a little bit and show us more of his thought process, right? Well, he did that again in this media availability. And he says some things that, yes, we are going to overanalyze because it is August, and that's what is supposed to happen. He talks about the fact that he thinks that, in so many words, that the Kings aren't done. So we have that for you at the end of this 30-minute set, which is commercial-free at the top of every single hour on your home of the Sacramento Kings. So we have that information for you, and we'll break all that down. Of course, we have our daily tankathon, and we'll see how we kick off this week. We were kind of hot to start last week. Then we cooled off a little bit. And then I think we might have snuck in one more good pick towards the end of the season, or towards the end of the week. So we will get that for you as well. And we're about to read off the Monday motivation from Mr. Scott Perry. But Kyle, I got to say, man, I've told you that I have been really, really invested in the 916, in the 209, in the 530, in this whole area, okay? Being a part of this community, paying taxes here, okay? It's just agent number one and agent number two now. So agent number one, formerly known as Toddler Styles, formerly known as Baby Styles. Now that number two is, honestly, by the way, yeah, we're to the point now, and my wife, we built the crib this weekend.
Okay, nice.
I did it myself. You know what I mean? I don't need no help. I did not put together the crib for baby number one. When they delivered it, they built it. For whatever reason, my wife said, yeah, that's not happening this time. You need to get in there and build it. So I did, and I got a little more hair on my chest after building it. But now that we're here, once you see the crib in the room, and agent number one is kind of messing around with the crib, it started to hit home for me a little bit.
Okay.
And we're to the point now where the appointments are every week. That's when it's starting to get hot. Is it hot in here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or whatever's going on. I had to speak with my River Cats crew the beginning of September. Obviously, I'm going to take some time. And obviously, I'm taking my paternity leave, and I'll be gone for a month from the radio show as well. But it hit me yesterday. We were giving agent number one a bath. And I'm just asking, hey, so what's up with the contractions, right? When's the earliest you could have them? And she looks at me and says, well, I mean, like now, right? And I'm acting as if this isn't number one, but I will say this. You do forget things very quickly. I was roasting my friend about this when he was working on his number two, and I said,
gotta be careful with that.
It was not in the process, but I asked him, hey, certain questions about when we had number one, because our timelines were he had number one, and I had number one, and then he number 2 was on the way for them.
This all just sounds like you're using the bathroom.
And he said, Allen, I don't remember. It goes quick. So I'm slowly remembering all of this. And now I'm to the point where I could get a call right now and have to leave. So we're on high alert, people. We are on high alert, and we have our process in place. We're all good to go if that happens. But yeah, we're in high alert here. And with that being said, we are, doing all the things that we need to do to get prepared. But this is no joke, Kyle. It's no joke, man.
So now is the moment where it feels real. First of all, that whole conversation just sounded like you were pooping. Gotta say Agent 1 and Agent 2 instead of just 1 and 2.
Okay.
Number 2, we've already made our preparations here, but it is interesting to just hear you say, oh, I've known this is going to happen, but now it feels real. Now I can stare at the room she's going to be in.
Yeah, it's
where there's a crib.
I'm kind of tripping now, and my wife, with agent number 1, took her, and this is pretty typical, took her a while to show, and it wasn't towards the very end where she, oh my goodness, I'm feeling real pregnant. Agent number 2 has been a bit tougher, right? Just in general. And she's to the point now where I think she hopes that I get a text right now saying it's go time.
You want it to happen early.
Exactly. So I am slowly realizing that it's here now. It's actually here.
Now you have to be ready to at any moment.
And I'm walking around. We went to the reptilian convention out there in Roseville, and I'm looking around at the different families that just and some of it looks fun, but some of it is a little scary.
What, walking around with 2 kids?
Yeah, it's a little scary. So bear with me here. We got you covered whenever that happens. Could be the end of the month, could be longer than the month, could be next segment. We don't know.
Could be in 2 hours.
Could be in 2 hours. We don't know. I don't know if anybody got out to the reptile convention in Roseville, if anybody else got out there. Really cool as I was driving, though. Shout out to what are the Rosevillians, whatever you would call them. But it was a huge line to get in. I don't think people realize that a lot of people ride for reptiles. That's it was a huge convention. We just went because it was hotter than hell, and we decided, okay, it's inside. We got there. It was jam-packed, and they paid it forward. Somebody gave us a parking pass. It was a lot of fun. So that is what the weekend looked like. But man, oh man, I'm seeing some of these families with 2 kiddos, and I'm thinking we're about to really be in this, man. It is not a game.
Pretty soon, you're going to have double stroller.
Yeah,
you're going to have to
2 car seats.
2 car seats. Traveling on a plane, forget it.
Oh my goodness. But the crib is done. I still got to do the car seat, a bunch of stuff, man. So it is quite the time to be alive.
But you've also got 4 weeks that could be 4 hours.
That's right, or 4 minutes. With all that being said, I leave you with this. It is destructive to focus our thoughts on things that we do not want to happen. When we give mental space to negative thoughts, it raises the potential for those negative thoughts to manifest in our lives. It is a waste of our time and energy. So when problematic thoughts begin to invade your mind, make the conscious decision to focus on the positive and good that are always contained in every situation. It will begin to change both your perspective and circumstances. Be a warrior, not a worrier. A victor, not a victim. Hashtag Monday Motivation. The end of that was a bar. The end of that. Be a warrior, not a worrier. A victor, not a victim. That was Scott Perry with your Monday Motivation. And the first comment, dude, fix our roster. You gave up Jonas Valanciunas for free. We used a second on him and did nothing this offseason. Next comment. Cut a garbage player and sign Russ. Don't put your roster on hold over Kuminga.
Wow, Terrence Davis just catching a stray for no reason.
Like I said, I really just appreciate the fact that he's still putting these out. And unlike the A's, okay, who are a bit cowardly in not having the comments on any of their social media, he posts this stuff and he knows people are just going to say just ridiculous stuff and he don't care. So I appreciate Scott Perry for that. That's probably the most impressive thing of this whole thing. Regardless of what the Monday motivation actually says, the fact that he continues to post it and just lets people comment just the nonsense that they comment, that's the respect that he's earned from me.
Does he tweet anything else now? Is it just once a week, Monday motivations?
That's a good call. Let me see here.
Because I know he used to do more Twitter stuff, but
well, I mean, it does change when you are, it does change when you are a GM now.
Yeah, because you gain nothing by tweeting.
Hold on now. This is not, whatever. Run it, Kyle.
When it breaks,
we have it first.
It doesn't.
Sports breaking news.
It doesn't get any better than this. There is no better team for the Kings to start their season against. According to sources, and by the way, I'll be back in October, so don't you worry. I'm just going to be out for September because I can't miss this. According to sources, the Sacramento Kings will open the 2025-2026 season on Wednesday, October 22nd, against the Phoenix Suns. It's the battle of the two guards to start the season. The Kings home opener at Golden One Center versus the Utah Jazz is Friday, October 24th. The Kings' next home game will be Sunday, October 26th versus the Los Angeles Lakers. There you have it, October 22nd. Give me Jalen Green. Give me Dillon Brooks. Give me Devin Booker. I want an all two-guard lineup taking on the Suns. Give me Grayson Allen. Give me Dougie McBuckets. Give me Nick Clifford. I want them all. That's how you know this thing is kind of cooked, by the way. And I would say, even though this thing is kind of cooked, I am going to overreact to that game. Do not let the Kings lose that game.
Do we have someone to give credit to for that information?
Sean Cunningham.
Here's Sean Cunningham. Who? I don't know.
Sean Cunningham, 46 seconds ago. Okay, just put out this information. If that doesn't get you going,
if that doesn't save us on a Monday,
if that doesn't set the tone for the 2025-2026 season, I don't know what will.
Do we think we can get the all two-guard lineup? Because we joked about this. We can do 10 shooting guards on the floor at the same time and it not be a total joke. Yeah. Well, still a joke, but not a total joke. So you could have Jalen Green, Devin Booker, Royce O'Neal, Ryan Dunn, Grayson Allen. There's probably more. And then for the Kings, you could put Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk, and Keon Ellis.
Yeah.
I mean, it
could be done.
An all two-guard lineup. We should make this happen.
It could definitely be done. Okay? It could definitely be done. And this is the battle of, I think we looked it up last week, the Kings are sitting at 35.5 wins. You can find the Suns as low as, I think they might have been in the high 20s somewhere. So it's rough sledding for both teams. The Suns, we actually compared both of them last week, who has a worse situation. The Suns have a worse situation. They might, I don't even know if they have more talent. I don't think so. They just have, I think, the best player on both teams in Devin Booker, I think.
Him and Sabonis are pretty close, but also they have no future draft picks either. Plus, good news for the Kings, playing the Suns the first game of the season. What's the thing we say about Keon Ellis all the time? He's just really good at guarding Jalen Green.
Yeah. So that is what is going to set the tone for the Sacramento Kings. And look, I'll give you this. I'll take it. This is a team, one of the rare teams that people actually talk more trash about than you. You're supposed to be better than this team. There are not many teams out there that you're supposed to be better than, and the Suns are one of them. This gives you an opportunity. I know it's a long season, but this does give you a little – look, man, you get a little mini springboard. How about that? You get the Phoenix Suns, and then you get your first home game against the Jazz. That makes you 2-0. Going into the, and you don't forget, Kyle.
Wow, we're just just saying you're 2-0.
Don't forget, Kyle. I did say if there is a random wager that you can put down for the Kings record in the first 20 games, I have a weird feeling the Kings are going to be really good in the first 20 games. Just don't ask me why. I just think that they're going to be highly motivated. Dennis Schroeder is going to be motivated. And now that I'm seeing you start with the Suns, the Jazz, and the Lakers could still be wonky to kick off the season. I feel even just seeing these three games, if you can find some niche wager out there that says the Kings will have, let's call it, because there's always one hot team to start the season. The Jazz, that was them. What was it?
Jazz?
3 years ago,
whatever,
something like that.
The year they traded Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, and they were like, oh my God, are the Jazz better without those two?
I'm not saying anything ridiculous. I think we talked about it, and I said 13-7.
Yeah, if we took the average of the whole season, it would be like 9.5.
Ugh.
Or 9.
I want to go more aggressive than that. I can't go 15-5. I can't, but I will.
15-5 would be like a 2 seed.
I could talk myself into a 14-6.
But you've also only seen 3 games.
I'm telling you, you don't call your shot after you see everything. I'm calling my shot early. I feel the best about 13-7. But I could be talked into 14-6. I have no clue what happens after that. Don't ask me why. I just think there's always one random hot team that everybody talks trash about, and then they have a hot start to the season. I think it's going to be the Kings.
You're doing with the schedule and the first 20 games what other people do with NFL preseason, which is, I don't care about the information. It's only exists to reaffirm my previous belief.
That's it.
You're like, I already believed they were going to go 13-7. Mm-hmm. The information only that reaffirms that belief is important. So you see the Suns, you see the Jazz, you see the Lakers, even though the Lakers have Luka, who's apparently in the best shape any person has ever been in the history of mankind.
I mean, you can see him. Right? I thought he looked a little, because he's playing for Slovenia right now in the Eurobasket. He looks a little thinner. He doesn't look like he's on Ozempic.
No, but that was why I was so mad at everyone freaking out like, oh, Luka, cover of Men's Health magazine. Do you know how much of a paid endorsement that was? They're going on a PR tour to try and convince people that he's in better shape than ever before.
Yeah.
Maybe he's lifting more weights, but it's...
And those pictures, I mean, we know, I'm not saying anything was Photoshopped, but they know how to work them angles, right? These photographers, they know how to work them angles.
Yeah, especially at Men's Health magazine.
He looked good. He looked good. When you see him in person, or when I saw the highlights of him playing, he looked like he was eating healthier, right? It didn't look like he was a completely different person.
But also, like, who knows? Yeah. Also, remember last year he played at the Olympics or the Olympic qualif. I can't remember what it was. Mm-hmm. And he came back and he had an amazing start to the season because he just never stopped. They went to the finals and then he played in Europe and he just never stopped playing. And then he got hurt and then he added weight because he stopped playing. It's the same. I don't think the Luka thing is any different. I'm a big Luka guy, but I feel like everyone's overreacting, including you, where you're just like 3-0, baby.
No, the next 17 games could be the Thunder, the Rockets,
the Warriors.
No, I'm not going to. But they will get a Warriors game, even though this go round they took a while. But I'm saying really good teams. But I don't care. I'm standing on business on this Monday, and I'm telling you right now, 13-7 is the worst the Kings will do in the first 20 games.
The worst.
I just have a feeling, man.
Oh.
And if I'm wrong by 1, come on. Well, they were 12-8. We'd all be happy with that. I haven't seen the Kings run away from the 500 fly in the last, however long I've been here. They have been attached at the hip to a 500 record. And I think we will at least see some daylight. I mean, even the Giants, even the A's, they show you some type of daylight. The Kings have been attached to the 500 bug at the hip. I think that ends in the first 20 games. Don't ask me about the next 62, but that's how I feel about the first 20. A lot of fun on this Monday fun day, if you will, when we return. Domas and the media availability. We play you the whole thing. What do you have to say to everyone? And something you should really pay attention to because it might show us what's going to happen next with your Kings. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Get early access to Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. 25% off the i8 bed, our most popular. Plus free home delivery. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Around here, the summer can smack you silly, especially if your AC is not functioning at a high level. Whitey Gleason here. I had the opposite problem over the winter. System went down. It was panic time, but Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating saved the day. Let them save you from unnecessary summer misery. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, reliable, trustworthy. They do great work. They won awards for their service. Check the reviews at leesair.com. Find out about their $99 HVAC tune-up service. Save your summer now. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating on the web at leesair.com. License number 635355.
Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the biggest selection, the best prices, and unbeatable customer service. Check them out online, sacsuperstore.com, for the guaranteed lowest price on Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Open until 10 o'clock and right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. sacsuperstore.com.
Shop Big O with the lowest tire price guarantee. Now through September 1st, get $80 to $120 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Nexen, Nitto, or Sumitomo brand tires with installation purchase. Disposal fees extra, not valid with other offers. See Big O dealer for pricing.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Avriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
I'm Ken Korath with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity, introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, the accolades keep coming in for A's first baseman Nick Kurtz. Based on batting almost 400 with a slugging percentage of nearly 1,000 in July, he becomes the 10th player to be named Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same calendar month, joining the likes of Buster Posey, Mike Trout, and Aaron Judge.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge?
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Bing Maloney Golf Course is 27 holes of high-flying public fun, and Bing Maloney's a classic design for golfers of all abilities. Bing Maloney's lighted driving range is a great place to learn and practice this summer under the covered hitting stations. The range also offers a practice putting green and outdoor furniture to relax with friends. Enjoy tasty beverages or comfort food from Maloney's Grill. The Association of Golf Merchandisers has named Bing Maloney a top 100 golf shop. For tee times, visit bingmaloney.com. It's Sacramento Golf's great value course.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Domantas Sabonis with a little bit of media availability that we've all been hoping for. Okay. And he was at his second annual youth basketball camp in Rockland. The camp was sold out, filled with boys and girls between the ages of 1st grade and 8th grade, all excited to spend a little time with the Sacramento Kings big man. That's from Sean Cunningham. And let's get right into what he had to say, the questions that were asked, and Domantas Sabonis being a bit more open than we've seen in the past. Here it is.
Your roots are firmly planted in this community. Events like this, spending your summer here, I don't know if you spent your summer anywhere else, but how important is it just for you to give back to Sacramento and the greater Sacramento area?
It's really important. Ever since I got here, Sacramento has welcomed me and my family with open arms, and it's just been a really cool ride. And we want to stay here and keep building inside the community.
Do you expect Tiger to be in one of these camps one day?
Yeah, he's still a bit young, but hopefully next year, he'll definitely be here.
How much are you doing this at home right now with him?
Every day. I think Tiger is probably better in shape than most of my teammates right now. He's coming every day with me to work out, doing everything. So, it's a really exciting summer.
You're obviously just getting away after last season, just trying to reset.
Really a lot of fun. Like I said, Tiger's been joining me through everything. He's super excited with basketball, so that definitely makes it more exciting as a father.
Do you feel like there's been enough time to decompress after we last saw you at the end of the season?
Yeah, but a lot has changed. A lot's probably still going to change, so we're just going to wait and see till training camp.
Do you feel like you can be an active voice in voicing what you feel could be potentially the best for the team going forward?
Yeah, of course. They listen to us, they want to hear what we think. I think Scott's done a great job so far, and he's trying to turn things around just like everyone else.
You got the point guard.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It was good. We didn't have one, so right now we have a starting caliber point guard. Dennis is very talented. He's playing in the Eurobasket this summer, so we'll see him later. He'll come in shape and ready to go.
I like those draft picks, Maxime and Nick as well. What do you think of what they could provide?
Great. They performed at a high level. I had IJ and Maxime out in Napa for a week, and we're just getting workout together and.
Already to see him get the interim tag taken off, and how excited are you to continue to work with him?
Very excited. I'm very happy for him. He was in there with me those 3 summers every day in the gym, so I've seen how hard he works every day, and for him to have this opportunity, the fans love him. He's one of us here, so I think it's exciting.
John Perry said he had meetings with everybody, yourself included. I'm not asking for details of the meeting, but how did that meeting go in that conversation with him?
It went well.
Details of the meeting, but how did that meeting go in that conversation with him?
It went well. We're very excited. I think we think alike, and we both want to get this thing running in the right direction, and his values are aligned with mine.
You're mainly the face of the franchise now. Do you take upon yourself to try to hold that weight or that role at all?
I don't really think about it as much. Everywhere since the day I got here, I felt like there's always been pressure with the Kings, to come out and perform. And, I'm just trying to deliver and do my part.
Kind of see the vision going forward?
Yeah, Scott's coming in here and trying to change things around, in the right direction. I feel like what the fans want, what the fans believe in, and to come out, play hard, run, be a gritty team, and so far we're making the right moves. Everyone's working hard in summer, and it's gonna all come down to training camp and get together and make it work.
Is it weird to see JV?
Understand it. We know where all these decisions are coming from, and you just gotta. It's sad to see a good friend leave, but at the same time, you understand. I'm happy for him. He's with the Nuggets now. They're a top team in the West. And all he wants to do is win. So I know he's happy.
Who has the better first pitch, you or the rookie?
The better what? The first pitch. I didn't even see their pitch. I don't even remember my pitch. To be honest, I was just there with Tiger having fun.
Yours is better.
Yeah. Oh, it was? Okay, good.
It's hard to incorporate anybody mid-season. Zach Levine, such an important piece on offense. Having a training camp with you, Levine, and DeMar together and potentially 82 games, how much better do you think the trio of you can be?
I think it's going to help. Coming in halfway through the season, also new coach. Not the system the coach might want to play. Players learning it. So hopefully this season, I know Doug's working hard on the new system, how he wants to play us, and is going to translate it through the training camp. And, so far all summer we've been getting little bits and pieces of that new offense. So hopefully when training camp comes, it's just smooth and we're ready to go.
This time last year, you went to USC and spent some time with both Doug and DeMar. Are you continuing to do that? Are we going to see more of the two-man game?
Yeah, of course. I'm flying down tonight after the camp to LA. So we're going to meet up with some guys, and just get some work in.
Do you have plans for the rest of the summer? Is there, rest and get away? Are you going to try and do anything internationally in terms of basketball?
No international basketball this summer. Just focusing on the team and trying to get this started off right.
Beyond this year, do you look at that international aspect of the game still as a possibility for you?
Oh, of course, every summer. I wish I was there. Lithuania just beat Georgia today, so I'm excited about that. And wish I was there with the guys, but next summer, obviously, there's nothing but World Cup, Olympics. The goal is always to play.
There's some guys that would like to see you as a possibility for the U.S. Would that ever?
That will never happen. That will never happen. Only Lithuania. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Just shout out to him for being open enough to spend some time. He's doing this and he knows, okay, they're going to be here. They're going to ask me some questions. And he was a pretty good sport about it. So we appreciate that from Domantas Sabonis. But, he's talking about Dennis Schroeder. We didn't have one as far as a point guard, and now we have a starting caliber point guard. And I think, and we saw Dennis Schroeder, he took 18 field goals, but he had 18 points over the weekend in this Eurobasket. And I'm slowly but surely starting to pay more attention to it. Hey, there's basketball out there. There's basketball being played. So how he feels about everything, he thinks that, some moves could maybe even still be made. A lot has changed. A lot's probably still going to change. So we're just going to wait and see till training camp. I don't know if that means he knows anything in particular, but look, man, with the combination of those first 3 games that we saw and the whole training camp thing, the closer we get to the actual season and how we may or may not have other things to kind of discuss as far as moves that could be made, we are going to try to make ourselves feel better about the current roster. And the reality is that they didn't have a full training camp, right? And the reality is that they didn't have a real point guard. We don't know how much that's going to help them, but these are reasons to believe that they're going to be better than last season. We're just not sure how much better. But you get a guy like Domantas Sabonis, who we just talked about last week. Hey, what's going on? Is there going to be another conversation? Or how does he feel? Obviously, anything can happen, but based on what we just heard from Domantas Sabonis, it feels like he's pretty comfortable. He's pretty comfortable, and I don't think we have to worry about Domantas Sabonis flipping a switch at any point and coming out and saying, "Oh, I actually do want out of here." Right? It's, he's talking about his son Tiger and, everything that they've been working on. He's about to go work out with, he didn't specifically say, but it feels like DeMar DeRozan will be down there in LA when they have organized this and want to work on some things. So it makes me feel, okay, the answers that I literally asked for last week, right, with them not having a podcast, hey, are they doing this? Are they doing that? The answers and just the information that it feels like we've been missing, or at least I've been missing, we got a couple answers there. So at least we know that they are planning on working together. It feels like that time frame of the summer where, hey, we're not doing, we're just spending time with our families. That's starting to set a little bit as we get closer to training camp and get closer to the season. Like I said, we're going to overanalyze what he talked about or what he mentioned at 11 o'clock as far as the other moves that could be made at this point, as we have some restricted free agency news to get to as well. But at the end of the day, it's just nice to hear from somebody on the Kings in a more typical setting. I know DeMar DeRozan has done a couple podcasts and things like that. And I know I said it would be nice for them to have a podcast, but it's also nice to just get an update. We had not had an update in a very long time from any of the Kings players. And even though DeMar DeRozan was on podcast, he wasn't necessarily talking about his stance with the Sacramento Kings. So it's a good note. to kind of kick this thing off and start the process of getting back into the flow of the NBA and the season and what is around the corner. I feel good about it. Now, do I feel extremely different about what I think the Kings are going to do this season? Maybe not, but I do feel better knowing that, okay, they're starting to round this thing out and they're going to get together and try to build some type of camaraderie here. On the other side, Tim McMahon confirms something we think we already know, but maybe he does it in a different way. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Ready to elevate your everyday? Quince has the luxe staples insiders swear by, minus the markup. From 100% European linen styles and 14-karat gold jewelry to gorgeous leather bags and elevated home finds, Quince has it all. And by partnering directly with top artisans and ethical factories, Quince delivers premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. Discover everyday luxury without the markup at Quince. Go to quince.com/style upgrade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/style upgrade.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop. Allen Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by DTLA Law Group. Max Muncy, out with that right hand fracture, has started to perform baseball activities, but still nothing as of early August. His expected return is late August. Jacob Wilson, out with that left forearm fracture, has begun playing catch and running. The hope is for him to return sometime in September. That was your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by DTLA Law Group. Hey, I'm Allen Stiles. Injured at work? Call downtown. DTLA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they have won over $500 million in settlements. DTLA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay zero up front. Call downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com. Text charges may apply. Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Tim McMahon once again confirms, he confirms that the Kings are interested in one Russell Westbrook. And, of course, this is something that we've heard before, but let's hear what Tim McMahon has to say about it. This is what he writes. It appears that Westbrook, who spent the first 11 years of his career with the Oklahoma City Thunder, will play for his sixth franchise in 7 seasons. He won't be returning to the Denver Nuggets after roller coaster season in which Westbrook finished 7th in the Sixth Man of the Year voting. The all-time leader in triple-doubles won't continue the trend of storybook homecomings for future Hall of Fame point guards, a la Damian Lillard and Chris Paul. The Thunder will hang Westbrook's number 0 in the rafters after he retires, but the defending champions don't have room on their roster, much less the rotation or the desire to tinker with the chemistry from their title run. League sources consider the Sacramento Kings the most likely destination for Westbrook, who will turn 37 during the first month of the season. If that's the case, Westbrook will likely come off the bench and share ball handling duties with free agency addition Dennis Schroeder. So when I was reading that, I kind of wanted to victory lap the Brookies. Is that where we landed on for the Westbrook fans? I will say I'll be nice and just call them fans. The Westbrook fans.
Better than the other options.
Okay.
I won't say it's the winner, but it's better than the other.
Yes, so they probably have a name. They probably meet weekly to discuss Russell Westbrook and where he should end up. But seriously, I don't know where else Russell Westbrook could go at this point in time, where or anywhere period where he's going to get 27 minutes. Because the reality is, I don't think he was supposed to get 27 minutes. I don't think the Nuggets went into that season thinking Russell Westbrook was going to get 27 minutes a game. I don't think that was the plan. That's how it turned out. And now he might have a thought in his mind that that's what it's supposed to be. But I don't think when the Nuggets brought him in, they thought that was the plan. I'm just double checking here. You look at what he did for the Clippers, right? He was at 22 minutes a game, and that was the first time he was under 25 minutes a game in his career. So on the Clippers, he played 68 games in 2024, and it was at 22 and a half minutes a game. You might be able to squeak that. I still don't know where on the Kings, to be honest, but you might be able to get to 20, right? Before that, the Clippers that previous season, he was at 30.2. But in my mind, I'm thinking, what? There was I don't know if there was Harden there at that point. There were some injuries involved. Russell Westbrook, I'm not comparing him to Kelly Oubre, but Kelly Oubre on the Sixers has these crazy minutes, right? Not because he's supposed to have these crazy minutes, because guys on the Sixers are never healthy. Well, and that's kind of what it's been with Russell Westbrook. I don't think these last teams that have signed him within the last 2 to 3 to 4 years, the plan wasn't for him to play that much.
Well, and the other part with the Nuggets specifically is we know now, thanks to all the reporting after they blew up their entire front office and coaching staff, that who was really pushing to sign Russell Westbrook? It was Michael Malone, the coach who got fired, and Jokic, the star player, right? So even Westbrook had allies in his camp of essentially the most powerful people within that organization. So I think that as time went on, the Nuggets realized, we're actually better with Christian Brown Christian Brown starting at the 2-guard position instead of Westbrook, and they were basically correct. And now we're going to pay Christian Brown $30 million a year, and Russell Westbrook is going to go play 20 minutes a game as a backup for the Sacramento Kings, who literally didn't have a point guard a month ago.
So does that mean if we're connecting all this stuff, and we're going to dive even deeper into what Domantas Sabonis had to say in the 11 o'clock hour, but if you connect those two dots, are they essentially saying this thing isn't done, somebody's going to get moved, right? And the one thing, and like I said, shout out to Domantas Sabonis for taking the time to speak to the media. Shout out to the media members for not being shy as far as asking him some pretty hard-hitting questions. And I know they're all thirsty for information, as we all are. But with that being said, the Malik Monk part of it, it's just not enough time to ask something that detailed, but it would have been nice to hear, okay, as far as Malik Monk is concerned, how does Domantas Sabonis feel? Because he was the one that wanted Malik Monk to start, but on the other side of this thing, now all of a sudden, maybe Domantas Sabonis thought that Malik Monk would work better as a point guard. I think that's very possible. I think that they worked really well together in that 6-man role, because I think we all thought that Malik Monk was going to be better as a point guard. So I don't think it's crazy to say that maybe when Domantas Sabonis said it's about time, when Malik got added to the starting lineup, and by the way, when he said that, De'Aaron Fox was still on the team. So Malik was the 2 when he initially became the starter. Now, not to get into the drama of it, but the whole situation with the coaching staff and who Domantas Sabonis wanted versus who De'Aaron Fox wanted, we are where we are now, but it could be a situation where everybody is just being honest about themselves, including Malik Monk, and it's, okay, we thought this was going to work. It's not working. Let's bring in somebody else. So, and the addition of Russell Westbrook, I still don't think is necessary. I will never find it to be necessary. I think that you could have made the argument, if you really wanted Westbrook this much, just get him instead of Dennis Schroeder. He would have been cheaper.
I mean, that's what they did, the Zoom calls or dual Zoom calls or whatever for him, but they made the conclusion that Schroeder was more valuable.
I thought, if I'm not mistaken, and we can look back at the Chris Haynes tweet during the break. If I'm not mistaken, I thought that the Zoom call was having both of them on the team at the same time, because Malik was going to be gone. I don't know that it was ever, hey, are we going to take Russell or Dennis Schroeder? I thought that it was a conversation for them to be a package deal. And then when Malik Monk fell through, that part of it fell through, they said, okay, well, now we're a bit more logjam than we already were.
I think that was the reporting at first. And again, most of this stuff is already done in the shadows before free agency ever starts. Mm-hmm. But when they were going to talk to the players, i.e. Schroeder and Westbrook, they made it sound like they were going to bring in both.
Yeah.
But I think that was also part of a Kuminga originally sign and trade situation, because that's why they went back to Detroit and tried to do the Malik Monk sign and trade thing, was to clear space for acquiring Kuminga and then signing Russell Westbrook, which I think is still the plan. They're just, as the person in Scott Perry's comments under the Monday Motivation brought up, they're just waiting to see how this Kuminga thing gets sorted out, which they're at this point just hoping Kuminga is going to pressure the Warriors into taking the qualifying offer, or he's going to take the qualifying offer and pressure the Warriors to then trade him.
Jared on the chat, and shout out to the chat on YouTube, 916-339-1140, on the text line and call line as well if you want to be a part of the conversation. Jared is saying having Schroeder play 30-ish minutes and Westbrook play the remainder of the 48 minutes at point guard would allow those combo guards the Kings have to actually play the 2. Yeah, but Jared, there's just too many of them.
There's only literally so many, 5.
Right, so okay, you're rotating, and we won't count DeMar DeRozan. We won't. Okay. So now, let's say those 2 are the only 2 handling point guard duties, because that's how Jared is doing the math to get Russell Westbrook 18 minutes, which is still 9 minutes less than he was getting last season, and probably less than what Russell Westbrook wants. You still have, just with the legit 2s, we're not even going to do the combo 2s. You still have Zach LaVine, Keon Ellis, Malik Monk. I won't even put Nick Clifford. That's already 3. Who else am I forgetting? Devin Carter. So that's 4.
Then you can bring back Nick Clifford and DeMar DeRozan, who are wings, but at least you can get away with them playing the 3.
There's not enough time for that.
And technically Doug McDermott is still on the team.
Now, you could make the argument if you're Jared and say, well, that's not Russell Westbrook's problem, and you could just have a log jam at the 2. I guess that's fine, but me personally, I don't care that much about playing Russell Westbrook. I'd rather play Nick Clifford or Keon at some point as a backup to Schroeder. That's how I personally feel. Now, it's not about what I personally feel. Clearly, this is what the Kings want to do. It's just a matter of whether they want to run, to Jared's point, whether they want to run 5 two guards and just have them battle it out all season long. When we return 11 o'clock hour, top of the hour, which means 30 minutes commercial-free local sports talk radio for you, and we will focus on one specific thing that Domantas Sabonis said. What does he know, and what did he say that? Some Brian Windhorst fingers as we hit the 11 o'clock hour. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The Drive Guys.
From the 925, Braun has not lived up to his end of the bargain. Fake bubble ring is a joke. Is that Daryl Morey's burner? Would you want LeBron to join Sabonis to finish his career where he started? Kings fans, would they want LeBron right now? Right now.
You can listen to The Drive Guys Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1140 a.m., YouTube, and the Sacktown Sports app.
Hi, I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic, semaglutide injection 0.5 milligrams.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, but one thing's for sure. You need a PC you can rely on. Whether it's for school, gaming, or whatever your next chapter holds, Lenovo.com has the tech to help you succeed. Shop PCs right now at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale, where students can save more when they sign up for a Lenovo education account. Free shipping, easy returns, flexible financing. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Save $10,500 off MSRP. Every Silverado half-ton 5.3 at Elk Grove Chevy. And Elk Grove Chevy has one of the largest selections in the area. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MadeofChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Excludes work trucks and ZR2.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Top 100 teacher and PGA Master Professional Kelly Stenzel offers some short game rules in Golf Magazine. 1. Stay still while putting. 2. Lean into chips with weight slightly forward during the shot. 3. For less distance, use a shorter swing and narrower stance. 4. Hit the ground to get true launch. Make a divot to get the ball in the air. 5. To hit a great bunker shot, dig your feet into the sand. 6. Swing length controls natural speed. Swing and stroke should be relatively equal back and through in size and rhythm. 7. Pivot for pitches so the club head glides underneath the ball, launching it high with spin. 8. Write it down. Calibrate your short game and put it on paper. Having some basic guidelines and a plan for your short game can make a huge difference without having to always rely on feel. Look for the full story at golf.com. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Nobody else was at the Reptile convention in Roseville.
I wish I was. It looked fun.
I got to tell you, those bearded dragons, they kind of smell. I held one. Kind of a stinky dude.
I mean, they're reptiles.
Yeah, I just didn't expect it. But it is really cool. It was at the grounds in Roseville, and I don't know if they always have this, but you go into the convention center, which was where it actually was, and then outside there's they had the Wingman. That was one of the food trucks out there, a bunch of different food trucks, somebody out there. Yeah, and you know what I'm going to be honest with y'all. This timing is always kind of annoying to me, because as long as you're with, your significant other, you want to look like the cool person.
Sure.
Right? And every time somebody shouts me out and says, Allen, love your show, or, whether it's a River Cats or just out and about, every time that happens, my wife is not around. Every single time. So basically we were done at the reptile convention, but we were still in the building. She's having lunch with agent number 1. And I said, hey, I'm going to go check out the food trucks to see what's out there. So they're still inside to say hi. It was 105 degrees, whatever it was. I go outside, and we've been walking around all day, right? Nobody says anything to me. We've been walking around all day. Immediately go outside, looking at the food trucks. This guy is about 20 feet away from me. Allen Stiles, hey, we met at a Kings game. Yeah, I listened to your radio show. And then I gotta go tell my wife, but it just doesn't hit the same.
No, when you tell your wife, she's just like, okay, Allen.
It
great.
Just doesn't hit the same, man. I thank y'all for shouting me out, but we need this timing to work out a bit better.
I guess it's harder though, because it's easier to approach you when you are by yourself, right? I feel like if you're there with your wife and your child, soon to be children, I feel like people are like, I don't know if I should approach him. He seems like he's doing his thing.
Yeah, he asked me if I was there for, one of my 8,000 jobs or just for fun. And when I told him, yeah, no, I'm just here for fun. My family is inside. Even he was like, oh, okay, I'll kind of let you go. So maybe to your point, people aren't, and look, I'm not acting like there's a line, but every time, come up, please. I want you to come up to me with my wife so I can look like the man.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Because when you have to tell her, oh, somebody said hi to me or signed my autograph, then it's like, okay, cool, Allen, that's great.
Yeah.
Don't know why you needed to tell me that.
No, it just doesn't hit the same. But some people are hopping in on the chat and the text line as well, saying that the food trucks are expensive out there. Yeah, the food truck thing, we'll talk about it a little bit later. The food truck thing, the older I get, and I guess the tighter my wallet gets, the more it's less cute to me, right? The spending $18 for food made out of a truck, it's a little and there's no fries, right? It's $18 smash burger with no fries. That was cute when I had more disposable income. It's not as cute to me anymore.
It's also like, what else are you going to do? It's the only thing that's here. But the other thing is those food truck people are hustlers, man.
Yeah.
Like I was at the Republic game this weekend, and like you'll see the same people that are in Elk Grove at the craft fair the next, day.
Oh, I'm not knocking the hustle at all. I'm just saying it's a little tight.
Yeah, that's kind of my food truck observation. I'm not going to say nothing about the prices. In this economy, set your prices wherever you want. But I just am amazed at how they just get everywhere. Like multiple events a day. You're going.
Well, they are trucks, Kyle.
I know, but you're going from like Roseville to Elk Grove to Woodland. Like it is a hustle to be a food truck person to sell $18 smash burgers out of a truck. It takes a hustle.
I'm just like, and to be honest, all right, I kind of fibbed. They were 16, but they weren't 18.
I mean, but with tax,
Yeah,
you got to tip.
Yeah, you got to tip. Here's the iPad. Here's the square.
Yeah, well, at least you went by yourself, because the peer pressure. If you do it by yourself, you're less likely to tip than if someone else is with you.
And I'll give them what I need to give them. Okay, but it's.
But if you don't, it's just between you.
It's rough out here.
It's between you and the $16 smash burgers.
916-339-1140. Here is the quote that had some people talking. And look, would this be talked about if this was the middle of the season or whatever the case is? If we had a bunch of other rumors kind of floating around? No, but that's not where we're at right now. And as the Kuminga stuff kind of starts to cool off, or it's pretty cooled off now, right? I think it cooled off second half of last week. This is what Domantas Sabonis is saying, which I think is kind of confusing some people. This is what he had to say in that kind of media scrum that we played a couple segments ago. A lot has changed. That's the quote. A lot has changed. A lot's probably still going to change. So we're just going to have to wait and see till training camp. That's Domantas Sabonis. People, it is August 11th. It's August 11th. I'm just not really sure what else could change. I mean, each day that passes, you start to wonder what's the move that could be made. Specifically because in this day and age, there's always a lot of rumors, right? And the only thing that we have really gathered is that the Kings may have been one of the teams, outside of the Kuminga stuff and the Westbrook stuff, is that the Kings may have been one of the teams to check in on Josh Giddey, right? May or may not have been one of those teams, as Jake Fisher mentioned the Warriors, but did not mention anybody else by name. The Westbrook conversation that keeps coming up that we just talked about, and how this math equation of minutes is not adding up right now. Does Domantas Sabonis know, or as he has said in the past in that exit interview, he wants to be looped in on this stuff? Does Domantas Sabonis know something that we don't know, right? Is there something else being worked on? Is Malik Monk, again, this is not a Malik Monk thing, but is Malik Monk still being shopped around the league? Where you figure at this point, August 11th, they've been shopping the brother since the end of the finals happened. So I don't know what could have happened. There have been no random injuries in the offseason at any of these runs or anything like that. I'm not sure how something could change, but it's a pretty big statement to say if you're Domantas Sabonis, right? And we know we talked about at the buzzer, the Julius Randle, Karl Anthony Towns thing. We're still in this dead period. And the wonder is, will there be one more stretch, or is this just where we're at right now? Is this how we're going to go into the season? Is there going to be one more thing? This Giannis conversation, the Jonathan Kuminga, is he going to swap with the Bulls, something like that, for Josh Giddey with the Warriors? What else could actually happen at this point in time? Because why would Domantas Sabonis say that? I think that's the best way to approach this. Why would he say that? It would have been much easier for him to say, I like the moves that we've made. Feels like we're in a good spot. Excited to get into training camp, right? What else could change at this point? We're dang near halfway through August.
I mean, there's still the one big Kuminga thing that's just hanging over it. And obviously we mentioned Russell Westbrook earlier, which we feel like is tied to Kuminga at this point. But as we've been talking about for the last week or so, I think this Kuminga thing is going to go all the way until October 1st, which is the deadline for when he has to accept or decline the qualifying offer, which means I think we're going to be in this limbo until either A, the Warriors decide they don't want to be in limbo anymore, or B, they come to some sort of agreement on a revised contract, which right now it seems like neither the Warriors nor Kuminga really has the appetite for. So normally I would agree with you, but it seems like the Kings are actually the team that is waiting in limbo to see if Kuminga is going to create enough leverage to force the Warriors to make that trade with the Kings.
And I want to say for the record, because everyone keeps getting upset at me, and it's almost like saying Voldemort at this point in time. You say Kuminga, some people get upset. I don't think it's a lot of you, though, to be honest, because I think a lot of you understand that this is what's happening, right? If there were other moves, it's Kuminga and Westbrook. That is what the summer is right now. When we didn't know who the Kings were going to have at point guard, we talked about the Tyus Joneses, all the Joneses. We talked about Dennis Schroeder. And funny enough, people didn't want to talk about Dennis Schroeder because people didn't want Dennis Schroeder. So you know what the Kings did? They went and got Dennis Schroeder. But right now, this is where we're at. with the Kings. Okay, and as I'm pulling up this article from the 4-letter network, and this is my guy Anthony Slater. This is a breakdown they have NBA free agents 2025, where things stand with the 7 biggest names. And that's also where Tim McMahon hopped in and talked about the Kings. So the Kings are kind of all over this stuff because you got Ben Simmons, Al Horford, Cam Thomas, who we're going to talk about Cam Thomas, Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes, who I haven't heard about. Quentin Grimes is just existing. What y'all going to do? When y'all do something, I'll do something.
Yeah, that is a qualifying offer on the way.
If Josh Giddey is getting an offer of $20 million, Quentin Grimes, what do you wait? You just want to be a part of the crew?
I think Quentin Grimes' issue is he's like, I want a 3-year deal at $15 million a year, and the Sixers are like, from who?
Yeah. So Anthony Slater had this to say about the Kuminga situation. So there's 7 free agents that they're breaking down, and the reason it's cooled down, people, is because nothing has changed. This is the quote. So everything sits in the same spot it did 10 days ago. The Warriors have not upped their offer, and Kuminga has indicated to those close to him that the $7.9 million qualifying offer is more appealing to him than the Warriors' current pitch. Something has to give before the October 1st deadline. Kyle, what happens first? You know where I'm going with this.
I think I do, but I want to hear it first.
Kuminga resolution or agent number 2's arrival?
Oh, agent number 2. I was joking with Whitey. The baseball season ends on September 29th. Do we think the baseball regular season is going to end before the Kuminga? Like, Kuminga's leverage at this point is A, the qualifying offer, and B, to drag this thing all the way out till the very end.
Well, it's two sides saying, I don't actually believe you.
Here's a question for you. Will you be back from baby number, or what do we call it, agent number 2?
Yeah.
Which, again, sounds weird. Also, it's weird because you have cats. So, like, when you say Agent 1 and Agent 2, I'm like, is he talking about the cats or the children?
No,
like,
the children.
You know, you rank them all the same.
Well, they are getting ranked.
Yeah.
They're getting ranked right now.
Yeah. Anyways, so I think that there is no way, like, at this point, Kuminga's thrown his best, or his agent, I guess we should say, has thrown their best punch, which is just to leak all of it to Shams and Anthony Slater and put all the details out there. Warriors aren't budging. There hasn't seemed to be any kind of contract negotiation between the two in a while. Kuminga's in Miami right now, which is apparently where he spends his off seasons.
Nice.
So,
see, that's how it should be done. If I was in the NBA and I was 22, you can find me in Miami.
Yeah, so that was in the whole Slater piece. I know you read the money quote, but he's like, just made a trip to the Democratic Republic of the Congo and just returned to Miami, where he is working out this offseason.
There you go.
But anyways, he's in Miami. The Warriors haven't come to the table to negotiate anything new because they don't really have to, right? They can kind of see that they don't have to do anything until the end of this window, and I guess they're comfortable with making Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton and GP2 and Steph Curry's brother have to wait to sign their contracts. So I guess we're just going to drag this thing out for another 6 weeks, which, hey, good for content, but also, like Anthony Slater said, nothing really is changing.
No, nothing is changing. It's all kind of rehashing itself over and over again in different ways. And it's a little difficult to really nail down where this thing or how this thing is going to end. But again, the reason, and the Kings do not get mentioned, I don't believe, in the article as far as what Anthony Slater had to say. But it was just, I'm not going to say it was weird. It was just interesting. It was just interesting that that's what Domantas Sabonis said, because we know that there are a couple dominoes that would have to fall in order for another move to happen. You know, he's played with Malik Monk longer, but obviously outside of basketball, Domantas Sabonis and Jonas Valanciunas are good friends, right? So Domantas Sabonis, and what makes it hard to read him is that he just keeps it pushing. Now, he gave us more information this go round, but you're not really going to see Domantas Sabonis give a bunch of emotion in a presser, right? The DeMar DeRozan presser at the end of the season where he's talking about how he doesn't know how many seasons he has left, and DeMar DeRozan in general, just a completely different interviewer than Domantas Sabonis. So with that being said, what do you have to say about Jonas Valanciunas? Hey, I wish it would have worked. It was nice playing with him. I wish it would have worked out. As far as Malik Monk is concerned, I think that Domantas Sabonis has liked playing with Malik Monk, and he had initially mentioned, hey, it's about time when he got into the starting lineup. But I do think that Domantas Sabonis is very business focused, and if he thinks it's better for business and better for the team to move somebody, then I think he would give it his blessing. There's no situation on the Kings where it's anything close to Steph Curry, Draymond Green. Hey, we're just going to ride this thing out instead of moving on from Draymond. There's nothing like that, right? And we saw that when De'Aaron Fox, who, look, somebody always, whenever I bring up how De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk may have not been that close, somebody always brings up, well, they were in each other's wedding, or he was in De'Aaron Fox's wedding. Okay, that's fair enough. At the same time, things can change after weddings, right? That's also real. That's also a real thing too. Things
else
change after weddings.
You know who else was the best man was Bam Adebayo.
Right.
Not Malik Monk.
No.
The other Kentucky teammate who was on that team.
Now we got to break down how many players or how many groomsmen did De'Aaron have? Because there's different groomsmen situations, right? If I've been in weddings where they've had 10 groomsmen, so I am not that close to that guy, but he had 10 groomsmen.
Yeah, I also saw everyone's posting photos from Alex Caruso's wedding this weekend. Yeah. He had like 500 people there. Like anyone got an invite. If you played at any point with Alex Caruso, you got an invite to that wedding.
Look, if somebody who is in the midst of their kind of wedding stretch, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one thing to be in the wedding if we're really going to do this, but if there was 10 dudes in the wedding, 10 groomsmen, where was he standing? Okay, because I was about number 8, 9, or 10 in a wedding. I was in the wedding, but I was 8. I was not standing close to the groom.
Can we also just say, by the way, 6 maximum? I wanted to say 5, but some people have big families.
Do what you got to do. You got the brothers. Get the brothers or the sisters. They throw everything off because they get automatic spots. And then it gets a little squirrely.
That's what I'm saying. Flexibility for larger families, and if your brother's going to be in it, their partner has to also be in the wedding. So it's like, look, I get that. But 6 groomsmen, 6 bridesmaids.
It's your money. Have as many groomsmen or bridesmaids as you want.
If you got more than 6 siblings, then
I'm just saying that I'm not having some fun with it, obviously. But that type of stuff. Well, they were in each other's wedding. Okay. That has not. What does that have to do with 2020? Where they're at in 2025? And De'Aaron's thought process leaving the team, and Malik Monk's thought process when he decided to stay on the team, which has been reported from Brendan Nunes in numerous places. Malik was not choosing between 5 teams. He was kind of choosing between 2, and I believe it's essentially been reported or talked about, rumored, that the Kings offer was better than the Pistons offer. So with all that being said, Domantas Sabonis is prepared, I believe, to do whatever is necessary to get this team to the next level, right? If it's choosing between, do I want to talk and do the whole are we in a good spot thing and possibly go to a different city and uproot my family? No, I'd rather just clean house however we have to clean house here. And I understand Scott Perry didn't make the Devin Carter pick. How do you think De'Aaron Fox, and this is the weird thing about Devin Carter, and the pick, I should say, not Devin Carter, the person or player, but how do you think, and I understand they may not feel as if the 13th pick is going to save them, but it could have. How do you think Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox felt when we're all sitting there watching? De'Aaron probably wasn't even watching the draft, knowing him, but when we all heard the words Devin Carter, a team that is trying to get over the top, maybe this player isn't going to help you immediately, but how do you think a Domantas Sabonis felt or a De'Aaron Fox felt when they got up there and Adam Silver said Devin Carter. They probably were thinking, as far as their relationship with Monty McNair, what the hell are we trying to do here?
Well, I don't think they reacted the same way as you, where you stormed out of the restaurant and Nate was chasing you like a WWE wrestler. I'm sure they didn't react quite like that.
You never know. You never know. Because that was a decision that was made, and now you're still seeing the effects of that. To this day, you're seeing the effects of that. When people say, oh, we got to move on, we can't move on until the moves that were made have essentially cleared out. Because now, a year later, as the Kings want to add on a Russell Westbrook, I still think that Devin Carter not being on team shouldn't really affect whether you add Russell Westbrook or not. But as far as optics and trying to get something back for a Devin Carter, it does affect it. Trying to get something back that you actually need, it does affect it. When you're getting roasted because you have 8,002 guards, it does affect it. So what does Domantas Sabonis know? What does he know about the possible moves that the Kings can make? Are they in a position to where somebody is heating up with Malik Monk? Are they in a position to where it could be somebody random, right? Maybe somebody at the buzzer says, I do like DeMar DeRozan. But in all of the different situations and opportunities for you to just take the easy way out, and Domantas Sabonis, as an elite ball player, we understand all of that. But when it comes to his media availability, he is typically one to take the easy way out. The first time I saw him not take the easy way out, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I've been covering the team, was in the exit presser where he said he wants to be a part of these conversations. He talked about we need a point guard. That was the first time I saw him be as direct as he was. Now, amongst this camp that he did, this kids camp that he did, he's answering these questions, right, during the camp, after the camp, whenever it was. A perfect opportunity to just take the easy way out and just say, I like the team. I like where we're going. Yeah, we'll see what happens. He didn't do that. He did not do that. He said a lot has changed and lots probably still gonna change. So we're gonna wait and see what happens to a training camp. The easiest opportunity to take the easy way out. So I don't know if he knows anything. I do not know. What I do know is that Domantas Sabonis is not known for sound bites that make you go, And in that moment, for whatever reason, he decided that that's the route that he wanted to take. I will openly admit that I am overanalyzing this thing. I will openly admit that. So you don't have to tell me I know I am. But we've played so many Domantas Sabonis clips throughout the years here. And he tends to be pretty crafty. And he tends to plan out and have an idea of what he wants to say. And that's what he did in that moment at that camp. Does it mean anything? We're going to find out. When we return, this is going to be a fun one. What do the Kings and River Cats have in common? We'll talk about it on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, Start with Stable.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metalwoods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531, 808-2531 for more.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing. Need a water heater or plumbing repair? Call Bell Brothers. Clogged drain? We'll clear it for $67. Plus a free camera inspection, a $250 value. We're fast, on time, and the price we quote is the price you pay. No surprises. Plus, we'll check your plumbing for free. Call Bell Brothers or book at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Bing Maloney Golf Course is 27 holes of high-flying public fun, and Bing Maloney's a classic design for golfers of all abilities. Bing Maloney's lighted driving range is a great place to learn and practice this summer under the covered hitting stations. The range also offers a practice putting green and outdoor furniture to relax with friends. Enjoy tasty beverages or comfort food from Maloney's Grill. The Association of Golf Merchandisers has named Bing Maloney a top 100 golf shop. For tee times, visit bingmaloney.com. It's Sacramento Golf's great value course.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/SactownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
What do the Kings and the River Cats have in common? That's right. By the way, River Cats, their first ever 6-game sweep. So they do 6-game series. Okay. So I'll normally split it with my guy Lee, the MC. He does the other 3. And since they've changed the PCL to a 6-game series, it's the first time yesterday. It was on a walk-off, by the way, by Basabe, and our guy, future Giant Bryce Eldridge, hit a game tying, or it brought them within 1, but it was a 3-run home run as the River Cats were down. It was an Oppo Taco, and then in the bottom of the 9th, they walked it off. All right, so good for them. Their first 6-game sweep ever in River Cats history. But what do the River Cats and the Kings have in common? It's pretty simple. They know their team won't be together for the whole season. That's what it is. That's how the Kings remind me of the River Cats, especially when you have somebody like Domantas Sabonis saying what he said, right? I still think a lot is, and I'm paraphrasing here, a lot is probably still going to change. We just have to see when we get to training camp. A lot has changed. There's probably a lot that's still going to change. It's a weird feeling And here's the thing, Kyle. Once we find out who Domantas Sabonis worked out with, and I'm digging deep here, but could you use that as process of elimination or process of confirmation as far as who at least Domantas Sabonis thinks is going to still be on the squad? You see what I'm saying? So whoever is down there, and we believe it's going to be DeMar DeRozan because he's already home, but he'll really be home and be in the same zip code or area code as to where he's actually from.
Well, he's home right now.
He's home right now, but now he'll really be home.
But then he's going to come back home for training camp.
Exactly. So anybody that's not there, would it be crazy to say, okay, they're not there? What does that mean?
It would be crazy to conclude that definitively, but I mean, who's in when the Musselman thing with the whatever that was going on? It was DeRozan, Zach LaVine, who we know both live in Los Angeles. It was Mason Jones for some reason that we still don't know. So I'm guessing it's DeRozan and Zach because those are the only two that I know for sure live in Los Angeles during the offseason. I mean, Malik's here. Keegan just disappears from the face of the earth every summer. God knows where Keegan Murray
nobody
is.
Knows.
Probably in Sacramento. I don't even know where he lives. I know where some of the other players live. But anyways, I guess we can just assume that it's Zach and DeMar. And at least for the last 6 weeks, we haven't heard rumors of either of them being shopped. So I guess not because Sabonis is going to work out with them, right, or is working out with them, it makes me think that, yeah, there's a good chance they'll be on the team.
It's almost as if we could start some odds here. Who will be there, right? Because let's not forget, Keegan did say he made plans with DeMar in their exit interviews. He made plans with DeMar to get out there.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure Keegan was there. I have no idea where Keegan is. Maybe he's in Iowa. Maybe he's in Sacramento. Maybe he's in Los Angeles. Keegan's just an international man of mystery, you know? But I will say we now know, thanks to the interview, that Sabonis is going to LA, that Isaac Jones and Reynaud went to Napa for a week. They stayed in his house.
Right.
So we know they're going to be on the team next year, right? Guaranteed at this point.
Yes.
So I guess it's just if you haven't worked out with Sabonis.
Hey, man. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and also, I mean, I know he brought up the point guard thing earlier, but and that was at the exit presser, we were all surprised when he said we don't have a point guard or we need a point guard. And then he kind of rehashed it again here briefly where he's like, we didn't have a point guard and now we have a starting caliber point guard. I mean, Malik Monk kind of agrees, but it's like, you don't have to say it.
They keep saying it. I'm telling you this much right now.
I mean, Malik was also hurt, but like,
Malik,
you don't have to say it.
He is not going to be at that workout.
He's not going to LA.
He's not.
Apparently, he was spotted at that golf event on Friday that Jason and Jason and Dave and Draper and the Drive guys were at. So, hey, he's hanging around Sacramento for the most part.
He's not going to be there.
It's an hour drive to Napa. It's a longer flight to LA, but actually, no, it's like an hour flight to LA. What am I saying?
I'm telling you.
So let's see if we're keeping track. We got Isaac Jones and Reynaud. We got LaVine and DeRozan workout videos. I saw Devin Carter at an airport, so I guess he was in Sacramento at some point.
He ain't going to be there either. He's not going to be at that workout.
Devin's not going to be there with them.
No, he's not going to be there.
So who else? Who have we not checked off yet?
Malik ain't going to be there.
Schroeder's in Eurobasket.
Schroeder will not be there because of Eurobasket, but Devin ain't going to be there. Malik ain't going to be there. They might be the only two that I'm certain will not be there.
Devin and Malik. So you're saying, so again, just like preseason, it all just reconfirms your previous thought, is that the two people who aren't going to be there is the two people directly connected to trade conversations for Kuminga.
That's it. 916-339-1140. Let's go to TC. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Hey, Allen, what's up, man? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Hey, bro, look, check it out. So what I got going on as far as Domas, what's going on with Domas, my theory behind that is as Scott Perry hollered at everybody, bro, and Domas is in. He's talking about seeking clarity and all that. Well, Scott Perry set that man straight and told him, bro, do you want to be here? Yes or no? I don't want to hear about the clarity. Do you want to be here? And Domas said yes. And that's why he was so calm at that interview saying, hey, bro, some other moves is going to happen. But, hey, Doug's here. He kept saying we're in here. We're in this together. We're in this all that. I don't want to read too much into it, Allen. But he's set straight. And Scott Perry got him set straight, bro.
Thanks for the call, TC. Well, I think TC is just saying it in a different way. And we don't know whether or not. All we know is that they spoke early this summer. So even if we said that the conversation early this summer is essentially what TC is referring to, that was the clarity. I think what TC is saying is we're not doing, or I don't want to do the De'Aaron Fox, this thing is kind of floating. Let's just nip this in the bud now. What are the things that I can do to make sure that this thing doesn't fester? How do we just have this conversation now and make you feel good enough to where there doesn't need to be a second conversation? That's how I'm going to take what TC is saying. And basically, I think Domas said, I want Doug Christie as the coach, and we need a point guard. It's pretty easy asks, to be honest with you, because Doug Christie was probably already going to be the point guard, or already going to be the coach.
Wow, what a turn of events
at this point, and
they're going to have Doug roll out there.
We do. Hey, we need another two. So, Doug was already going to be the coach, and everybody knew that they needed a point guard. So pretty easy asks that Scott Perry was able to kind of take advantage of. I wonder, this is what I do wonder. I do wonder where Domantas Sabonis falls as far as the Westbrook thing. If he finds it, because we joked about the snake draft, how this team is just a collection of things that certain people said that they wanted, right? Certain people wanted Doug Christie, certain people wanted Scott Perry. Then from that, certain people wanted the assistant coach, Bobby Jackson,
and Mike
Woodson. All this is kind of trickling down like that. I do wonder where Westbrook falls. Who's the person behind the Westbrook fascination or intrigue? My initial guess is that it's Scott Perry.
Well, I feel pretty confident it's Scott Perry because he was on the Seattle staff right before they drafted Westbrook. So, I think he left when they moved to Oklahoma City, but he was part of the department that drafted Russell Westbrook in Seattle, then Oklahoma City. It's very confusing. He was in a Sonics jersey at the draft, but never played in Seattle. So I would imagine Scott Perry is the one who is interested in having Russell Westbrook. I don't remember Russell Westbrook being connected to the Knicks during that whole run of him switching teams for a bunch of years, but I also know that the Knicks were kind of rebuilding at that point. But yeah, I feel like it's probably a Knicks thing. Probably a Scott Perry thing if I had to guess.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think Domas probably feels, look, all I wanted was a point guard, right? As far as there's nobody, and that goes to the Malik Monk conversation. If Domas has decided there's really nobody that I think on this team, and it's the right way to take it. I'll give Domas kudos simply because people do get too obsessed with friendships and things like that. And Domas is thinking, look, we didn't make the playoffs. I would like to make the playoffs. I would also like to stay here. That's just the reality of it. And because of that, I'm willing to do whatever is necessary in order for that to happen. I like Malik Monk. I would like him to be on the team. And this is all me just speculating, by the way. I like Malik Monk. I would like him to stay on the team if possible. But I have eyes, and I play basketball, and I realize you can't have 7-2 guards.
Well, to your point about the point guard, too, doesn't this make you feel a little better about the direction? Because you mentioned simple asks. Doug Christie, the coach, they needed a point guard. Right. Sure, De'Aaron Fox was saying for how many years that we just need a wing, just get a wing. Yeah. The best players in the league are wings, and they never got a wing for however long they were asking for it, whether it was Siakam or Anunoby or Cam Johnson or John Collins towards the end. So I guess, does that feel like it's more of an improvement that they got the two things he kind of said at the exit presser he wanted?
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'm more so saying they've already gotten it. So I don't know that it's Domantas Sabonis saying, no, actually, I think that we need another point guard. I don't think Domantas Sabonis is behind it. I think that this is a Scott Perry special. This is somebody that Scott Perry is saying, I'm looking at the roster. I've really only put my fingerprints on it as far as a point guard that we all knew we needed and some draft picks. I'd like to do something else. There's not much I can do. So this is how I'm going to go about it. That it's really that simple. When we return, speaking of Dennis Schroeder, how he played against Slovenia in Eurobasket, are we underestimating what he can bring to this King squad? Allen Stiles, Sackdown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Are you thinking about buying a new car? Well, maybe you're on the fence. Let me help you out. Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the first time I stepped into the MP of Stockton showroom, I knew I made the right choice. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV. It's comfortable, stylish, and most importantly, it's safe. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. It's just a short drive down I-5 or anytime at mbfstockton.com.
Hi, I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic, semaglutide injection 0.5 milligrams.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, but one thing's for sure. You need a PC you can rely on. Whether it's for school, gaming, or whatever your next chapter holds, Lenovo.com has the tech to help you succeed. Shop PCs right now at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale, where students can save more when they sign up for a Lenovo education account. Free shipping, easy returns, flexible financing. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
High Voltage Live boxing action returns to the venue on September 6th as Uppercut Promotions presents 6 big fights featuring undefeated fighters. Thunder Showdown September 6th at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Tickets at Ticketmaster. Fight cards subject to change.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Are we underestimating Dennis Schroeder? And this feels like as good a time as ever as we're talking about the Kings improving to run the Tankathon.
All right, let's get lucky, baby.
Let's get lucky as we're about to talk about Dennis Schroeder making the Kings better. But just in case he doesn't, that is how you start it off.
What do we got?
That is what you call a Monday fun day. Jumping up 7 spots, with the first pick in the 2026 NBA draft.
Woo!
The Sacramento Kings select the savior, whoever that may be.
One of the three.
One of the three saviors. Just don't pick the wrong one. Just suit
No
up.
Marvin Bagley. Don't Marvin Bagley it again.
Just don't bag this thing up, please.
Or Thomas Robinson over Damian Lillard or Jimmer Fredette over Klay Thompson. There's a lot of them, actually.
But this is the time that it will work. Okay, Sacramento is number 1. Utah drops down. They still can't get the top pick, even though they keep tanking. Funny enough, if the Suns actually knew what they were doing, they would have had the 3rd pick, but that's going to go to Washington, who is just continuing to develop talent. Portland at number 4, and a bunch of bad teams that dropped down.
So wait, how does that? I'm trying to figure out. So Washington, it's like I saw this when the Bane trade happened, and it's so confusing. So it's like Washington, Memphis, Orlando, and Phoenix. Like they're 4 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Washington gets the highest no matter what. Memphis gets the 2nd highest pick no matter what. Orlando gets the 3rd highest pick no matter what. And the Suns get the worst no matter what happens. So I guess the Suns moved up, so Washington got it, which means what, Memphis has Washington's pick or something?
I don't know, Kyle.
It's very, very confusing.
Yeah. All I do know is that Sacramento in this situation got the number 1 pick. Now, you hear something like that and you say, Allen, I don't know that I want Dennis Schroeder to overperform or to come off as underestimated. We want him to be, if the Kings are going to get the number 1 pick, you want Warriors Dennis Schroeder. You definitely don't want Nets Dennis Schroeder, and you kind of don't want Pistons Dennis Schroeder either. You want Dennis Schroeder from the 2 weeks he was on the Golden State Warriors and was terrible.
It was just hot garbage.
We might need to pull up some of those.
When Dennis Schroeder was a combo guard, it was just not working at all. And I think it's funny, the idea of Dennis Schroeder. What did you say earlier? Sneaking up on people. The man's been in the league for 12 years.
You want to hear? Yeah. You want to hear Dennis Schroeder? I got his stats from the Warriors.
Yeah, but let's hear Warriors first.
Okay, on the Warriors, Dennis Schroeder played 24 games. He started in 18 of them. He played 26 minutes. So he was playing less minutes than Russell Westbrook.
Remind me again. This is when Kuminga was out, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. It might not have happened yet, but he averaged 10.6 points per game. He averaged 2.3 rebounds per game, 4.4 assists per game. From the field, he and free throw, he was at 74% from the free throw line. He just did not like it in the Bay. Okay. Field goal percentage, oh my goodness. 37%.
That's field goal?
Field goal.
Man, if you're a 37% 3-point shooter, you're basically average.
He shot 30. He took 4.8 threes a game. He shot 32% from 3, 41% from 2, and was at 37% from the field.
So what did he shoot on Detroit? Just shooting.
Detroit, he shot it at 37%.
From the field or from 3?
From 3, he shot it at 30%.
Oh, wow. So he got worse shooting on Detroit. Well, that's
so basically his whole season was just saved by the 23 games he played with the Nets because he was just out of his mind. He played basically 20. He played 23 games with the Nets, 24 games with the Warriors, 28 games with the Pistons. With the Nets, he averaged 18.4 points per game. Okay, he shot it at 38% from 3. His field goal percentage was 45%.
He was having a great time.
He was taking 6.5 threes a game and shooting it at 38%. But nobody cared.
Well, this leads us into the conversation about the Eurobasket, which is Dennis Schroeder is one of the, as an individual, like center of an offense, he's really, really good. Like FIBA Patty Mills is the thing everyone used to talk about. FIBA Dennis Schroeder is a real thing. When he gets on that German national team and it's him and a bunch of Wagners, he cooks. he's so good as an individual scorer still at 31 years old. He just, plays in the NBA.
Dennis Schroeder, this was this weekend on August 10th. He had 8 against Slovenia, against Luka Magic, 18 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers. He was 5 of 18 from the field. He was 3 of 11 from 3, and he was a +7. He was a +7, though, if you're into that type of thing. And the first comment, terrible.
Sure.
So whether or not Dennis Schroeder I do think he's maybe a little underrated. But again, that's my fear. If Dennis Schroeder plays a little bit better than expected, they're going to trick themselves out of a top pick. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, but the top pick is percentage points, right? Like anything could trick you out of the top pick. Josh Giddey's half-court shot last year is the reason the Bulls didn't get Cooper Flagg. Like any little thing could make or break your picks.
Yeah, but this is bigger to me. This is, and I get it because you're right. It is the percentage points. But if we look back at it, 26.3% if the Kings have the eighth worst record in the NBA. Okay, that they have a 26.3% chance of getting a top 4 pick, a 6% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. They drop all the way based on how this would finish. New Orleans, right? Because they don't have their pick. They gave that away. They dropped to 20.3. That 6% is huge. And by the way, that New Orleans team still is probably, I don't know, I guess that New Orleans team is are they even messing around in the play-in at that point? It's the Memphis, you get to the Memphis and you're the 8 or 9 seed, and then you don't make it into the playoffs anyway, and you're at 7.1%. That's the type of stuff that's going to kill you.
But the other thing that might not kill you but will drive you insane is trying to make the numbers work ever in your favor, because ever since the NBA flattened the lottery odds a bunch of years ago, nobody has better than a 14% chance of landing the top pick. And I know that's not reassuring, but like at the very best case scenario, right? You have the worst record in the NBA. You are guaranteed a top 5 pick. It is still a 50-50 chance that you will get the top 4 pick, right? It's just, you never know how these things are going to break, and you're not meant to, because the NBA is using the lottery system to disincentivize what you are talking about, which is Dennis Schroeder, rooting for Dennis Schroeder to play like garbage so that your team ends up getting a better chance at landing a top 4 pick. And I am someone as a nerd who dives deep into all this stuff, I always say, like, the best strategy is to be there for 4 or 5 years and just have as many shots at the board as you can get, instead of like hinging all your hopes on 1 year. But hey, we got the number 1 pick today, so we're fine.
Yeah, the 209 says the Wizards were trash last year and they picked 6th. Again, yeah, they picked 6th. Why do you want to tank again? I don't even know if tanking is the right word, though, because
developing talent.
But this isn't even that. This is one season where you have your own pick and you're gonna trick off the situation and mess it all up because you want to mess around in the play-in again. Right? That's my problem. I'm not saying, I've never said to sit here and do a 2-3 year tanking process. I have said this season specifically, you're not doing anything. So why stop doing what you've done the last couple years? Just take your medicine, develop some talent for a year, and put yourself in a position to look, even if you don't get the number 1 overall pick, to get a top 4 pick in a very strong draft. You don't have that dude on your team right now. So I'm not saying to sit here. Nobody is saying to sit here and be unwatchable and somebody's got to go to the game with a paper bag over their head. I'm not saying to do that for 2, 3, 4 years. I'm saying this year specifically could jumpstart whatever the next version of the Kings is. And if you're having a conversation, even the Bulls, You can make it. They do have Matas. They do have a Senge. They do have young players, and they could make a decision to just keep doing it. The Kings don't even have that. So I would say, how about this? How about this? And I'll talk about this to kick off the 12 o'clock hour. If you are not in the camp of quote unquote tanking, and again, neither am I, then you need to or get off the pot. And that would require some very, very tough conversations. I'll tell you what those tough conversations are on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The Drive Guys.
Somebody from the 916, Whitey, tell me the last time we had an athletic front court. JK and Keegan Murray, a top 10 power forward, small forward combo. You find that? No, you can. Why did you give me that 10? I mean, let's slow down. He's not even here yet. Right. He doesn't even play here.
You can listen to The Drive Guys Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1140 a.m., YouTube, and the Sacktown Sports app.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the Water Wheel.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Labor Day savings are on at Elk Grove Chevy with $10,500 off MSRP. Every new 2025 Silverado 1500 5.3 liter after all rebates. And Elk Grove Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,500 off new Silverado exclusively at the Elk Grove Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MegaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Excludes work truck and ZR2, not trading 2011 Chevy car truck. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Made a great deal of me. KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
2 more hours with you. Kyle Ledbetter is in the middle of he's doing some training, okay, for the next hour. So my guy, Ramsey, is in the building for the next hour with us, taking you up to 2 p.m. on a beautiful, beautiful Monday. So you'll hear Ramsey hopping in within this next hour here, just so you are aware. If you're just now joining us, we ended the 11 o'clock hour. We were talking about underestimating Dennis Schroeder, right? And as we ran the daily tankathon, if you're new to the show, we have been running the tankathon simulator every day, and that tells us where the Kings would draft if they finish with the 8th worst record and that's how they are slotted to finish according to tankathon.com. If they finish like that, how the draft results would happen on this day. So today we got number 1. So we talked about, hey, here we go. Let's discuss how the Kings shouldn't mess this up, right? 26% chance to get a pick in the top 4. If they finish, the better they finish, the worse it gets, obviously. Their odds. 20%, that's the next Western Conference team. And then after that, it drops all the way down to 7. So that's a big deal, right? That's a big, big difference. Also, in this hour, we are going to discuss the games that have been revealed, the opening night games, Christmas games, and also Sean Cunningham with the scoop. He's got the first game of the season, the home opener, and the third game. He released that this morning, so we have that for you as well as we kick off this second half of the show. But as we were talking about the T word, and we don't like to use the T word on the show, tanking, right? As we were talking about the T word, I like to call it developing young talent. I took that from the Wizards. Somebody on the text line, 916-339-1140, if you want to be a part of the conversation, somebody on the text line said the Wizards were terrible last year and they picked 6th. Why do you want to tank again? Now, I did not say I want to tank. I basically just want the Kings to not be better than they're supposed to be, unless they're going to actually get into the playoffs. But this play-in thing that we've messed around with time and time again, where they're the 8 seed, the 9 seed, the 10 seed, that can mess up your percentage, your chances of getting a top pick. And we have nothing to show for it besides a play-in game. And they got embarrassed last time at home to the Mavericks. Was that worth it? I don't think so, right? And you can't keep picking 13th because obviously they had to trade into the draft this season and they got the 26th pick, but you can't keep drafting 13th. You can't keep drafting in the teens. You can't do it. You cannot do it. So a texter said, like I mentioned, the Wizards weren't good and they drafted 6. Why do you want to tank? Why do you want to tank? So I don't want to tank. But with that being said, I'll say this. If you are in the camp of not tanking and you want to quote unquote go all in, then I would assume, or I would say, that you also need to be in the camp of not only is anybody untouchable, right? But you are willing to make certain moves. I think on a team like this, you get one. You get one. And I know I went back and forth with a lot of people whether or not Keon Ellis is untouchable or not. But I would even go as far as to say that as the Kings continue this double Dutch thing and keep messing around and jumping in the middle, obviously Scott Perry has shopped essentially all of the starters to some degree besides Keegan Murray. I think that's where this thing would go next, right? If you are in the camp of not tanking, then you should be tired of this middle stuff that the Kings have been doing. Then you would need to have a conversation about what are we doing with Keegan Murray? You haven't paid him yet. Could go in the sign and trade direction, or you trade him after you sign him. And I would say that truly nobody would be untouchable. Now, you can try to make this team make more sense, but if nobody's checking for DeMar DeRozan, nobody is really checking for Zach LaVine, and you can't move off of Domantas Sabonis, and you want to improve because you don't want to tank 209 or whoever you may be out there, then Keegan Murray can't be untouchable. Because if you're not going to tank, then you need to put your best foot forward in order to truly compete. So Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis, Nick Clifford, Maxime Reynaud, everybody should be available. And I don't know that they're not. But these Godfather offers, because here's the thing, if you're trading Keegan Murray, you're not doing it for first-round picks because you're doing it to try to improve and somebody that's more ready-made. Who that player is, I don't know. But if you are in the I don't want to tank conversation, and again, I'm not saying to tank for 2-3. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just take your medicine in a very, very strong draft class. That's all I'm saying. And position yourself to take your medicine. That's what I'm saying. You don't do that by adding on a Russell Westbrook and signing Dennis Schroeder to 3 years. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not saying to tank for 2-3 years. I'm not saying that at all. You don't even have to move off of Domantas. I've called it before a hybrid tank, if you will. But if you are in the position, Allen, I hate the T word. I don't want to develop young talent. I want to roll with what we got. Then you have to make this team better. You have to make this team better because this team isn't good enough. That's the only reason these conversations are coming up, because this team isn't good enough right now. If this team was good enough, then I wouldn't be having these conversations. We wouldn't be running the tankathon. But if you don't think that this team, or if this team is, again, fighting for that 6th seed, as they've been doing the last couple years, and they have not been successful, by the way, they've only gotten worse. They were the 9 seed, then they were the 10 seed. So, based on all of that, or excuse me, I think they were the 9 seed both seasons. They just lost to the 10 seed. Based on all of that, how can you sit there and say you want to continue with this? And if you do want to continue with this, that's cool. That's all good. But you better be willing to move off of anybody that you see fit that could help improve this team, which means Keegan Murray cannot be untouchable. Keon Ellis cannot be untouchable. None of these guys can be untouchable if you are attempting to make the most out of this roster. And I think that's the issue with the Kings right now. They're playing double dutch, or not even. They're trying to hop in to play double dutch, but they're not just going for it. If you're going for it, then fully go for it. And you can't hold on to, okay, well, we need Keon for, the next iteration of this, whatever it is. Or we need Keegan. No. That's not how I see it, because this in-between thing, that's been the issue. That's been the issue. I don't think you should go in on this team. I don't think you should go all in. I already told you. I think you should go in the opposite direction. But if you are, then you need somebody that is going to give you more than what we've seen from Keegan Murray. Maybe Keegan Murray takes a leap than what we've seen from Keegan Murray. You're going to need more than what the collection of young talent that you have brings to the table. And I'm not mentioning Malik Monk and Devin Carter, obviously, because they've already been on the chopping block. But guys that have not been on the chopping, oh, no, we're trying to make sure we're good here. Also, your future, right? Do you know how valuable that 2026 pick right now is for the Sacramento Kings? Do you know how valuable it is? I think the Kings would be crazy to move it. But you out there that want to do whatever version of all in this looks like, that'll get you something. That'll get you something. I'm not saying that the Kings should do it, but that would get you something. So that's kind of been the issue. They haven't fully gone all in, and I don't think they should, because Scott Perry, he's not even responsible for 85% of this roster. But that is where this whole thing gets held up, where you're just trying to do a little bit here and a little bit here and a little bit there. And if they are on this 2-year plan, that's all fine and good that we keep hearing about from Sean Cunningham and others. They're on this 2-year plan. That's all fine and good. But you can't let this 2-year plan mess up your 5-year plan, right? You can't let decisions made in this upcoming season put you out of a good situation for a really, really strong draft class, because we know that 2027 is supposed to be trash. It's supposed to be a trash class. That's just what it is. Now, this could change. I just saw another kid. Ramsey, you probably know who I'm talking about. The kid who reclassified to 2026. I don't know, he was 6'8", 6'9", big old dude. He just reclassified, so he's going to be a part, as of right now. He could always change back, of the 2026 class.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the name, but I seen that over the weekend. And
I sent it to Kyle. Too, because, that's the type of stuff that we're talking about. I got the name right here. This is Babatunde Oladoton. Okay?
Yeah, Babatunde.
So he's another one. Now he's reclassified to 2026. That's the process that we're in right now. That's what we're looking at for 2026. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't go with, I wouldn't. But if your stance is that this Kings team, I don't want to see them tank, Allen. I want to see them be competitive. Then they still have to do more. That's my argument. Then you have to be able, the flexibility that they want. The Kings are not good enough right now to play it both ways. And I don't want them to try to, in playing it both ways, play themselves out of a good situation. That's all it is. That's all it is for me. I don't like the T word either. I'm just staring at this 2026 class, Ramsey, and I'm salivating here. I need it.
I get the salivation, but at the same time, I mean, this is something you brought up about a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'd much rather be in the Western Conference Finals and lose and get a number 1 draft pick.
Sure,
because it's the experience factor.
Mm-hmm.
The more experience you can gain in the postseason, the better, and that's beneficial for players you just named. Keegan Murray, because he's only played 7 games. Keon Ellis, beneficial. I mean, you got the other players that have been to the Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis. They've been to the playoffs, but they haven't been as far as they'd like. So, I mean, if they got to the Western Conference and lost, well, it'd be disappointing just that they got that far and lost, but it's valuable experience.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I'd much rather have that than worrying about Babatunde, the Boozer Twins, AJ Dabansa, or others that are coming out in that 2026 draft class.
I hear you. I hear you on that. I think when people say, Allen, I don't want to tank, I want to continue to be competitive, my argument is, how competitive are they right now? That's my biggest argument with that. Okay? That's where that kind of falls. And if you're just now joining the show, we kicked off the show with this because it dropped pretty as soon as the show actually started. But here we go. According to sources, this is from Sean Cunningham, the Sacramento Kings will open the 2025-2026 season on October 22nd. It's a Wednesday, against the Phoenix Suns, one of the rare Western Conference teams that the Kings are supposed to be better than. Okay? The Kings home opener at Golden One Center is against another team that the Kings are supposed to be better than, October 24th against the Utah Jazz. And their next home game, of course, it is going to be against the Los Angeles Lakers on October 26th. So that is where the Kings are going to start this thing off, and I think it's a great opportunity for them. I'm on record. The Kings are going to be at worst 13-7 the first 20 games. I'm on record with that. I might look crazy, but I'm on record with that. I think they could be as good as 14-6. 15-5 feels a little aggressive, but I don't know why. I just think they're going to start out hot. Don't ask me about the other 62 games, but that is how they're kicking off the first 3 games of the season. In my mind, there's no reason. Now, obviously, it's going to be in Phoenix at Club Phoenix, but in my mind, there's no reason the Kings shouldn't start out 2-0, and then you get a home game against the Lakers, who, as this leads us into opening night, the Lakers, they're always going to play on opening night. It's Warriors at Lakers. Okay, so the Lakers get the home game against the Warriors to kick everything off on October 21st, so then they'll have to travel up a couple hours to take on the Kings. And at that point, I think the Lakers, if they don't make any other moves, this is the time to get them, right? This is part of the reason I think the Kings will be better or will be pretty good in the first 20 games, because everybody's finding their footing. And I think that the Kings, because of the scoring that they have, that might just elevate them to kick off the season. Now, once the Lakers find their way, the Warriors find their way, the Rockets would just be starting off with KD. Later in the season, the Kings might fall back down to earth, but I do think they're going to start off pretty hot just because they've been playing together. I know they added Dennis Schroeder, but Dennis Schroeder to me is a pretty cut and paste type of player where you can drop him in anywhere and he's going to be decent. The issue to that point of Kyle, when he was on, of Dennis Schroeder with the Warriors, is the Warriors didn't have Jimmy Butler yet. So they were looking for that second scorer, and DeAnthony Melton was out, and Jonathan Kuminga was in and out of the lineup. So Dennis Schroeder had a little bit more, I don't want to say pressure, but kind of a little bit more offensive pressure, if you will, on him that he hadn't typically had with the Nets because they were zero pressure. And then going to the Pistons, they weren't asking him to score at that clip. So that's why I think that the Kings are going to start out hot, and we'll see if they'll be able to hang on to it. So that's where it falls. Houston Rockets, Ramsey, the rest of the opening night slate. Houston Rockets at Oklahoma City Thunder. Golden State Warriors at Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, we're still doing it, man.
If people can see me on the YouTube, that's what Lakers and Warriors does to me. It makes me yawn.
We're still doing it.
I mean, hey, it's a broken record. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I get the Rockets. May moves up and coming. Another KD trip back to OKC on ring night, so he can watch OKC get a ring.
Yes.
Something he couldn't do while he was there, even though he went to the finals. I get that part, but how many times we gotta see Lakers at Warriors, Warriors at Lakers? I get they got Steph, I get they got LeBron, but my goodness, it's yawn worthy now because they do it every single year. I mean, give me we got some notes here. Give me some spice. Give me Orlando. Give me Orlando at Detroit. Detroit at Orlando. I want to see a Cade Cunningham versus up and coming Magic team. Give me something other than Lakers and Warriors. The national narrative is to beat us over the head until either Steph, LeBron, or both retire to see them every single opening night. It's old. It's played out.
Well, I'll tell you this much. This isn't going to make you feel much better. I'm just rereading these for Christmas. Cavaliers at New York Knicks, Spurs at Thunder, Rockets at Lakers, Mavericks at Warriors, Timberwolves at Nuggets. Look, I'm going to be busy with baby number 2 anyway, and I'm glad because am I tripping? That seems kind of not terrible, but I am not. I'm looking here. Who am I? Here's what I'm most excited about.
Here's what I will say. There's only one East Coast game, and that's the 9 a.m. game, which the Knicks typically always get on Christmas. Cavs at Knicks. Everything else is Western Conference. So they got 8 of the 10 teams on Christmas, Western Conference games. And they're trying to feature some of these up and like the Houstons. Mm-hmm. They're trying to put San Antonio with Wembanyama, Castle, Dylan Harper, couple of former Kings, which I won't mention, the Sohans, the Keldon Johnsons, the Vassels. They're trying to showcase them. And then again, it's your usual suspects. And I get why they put Dallas on Christmas as well. They want to showcase the new toy, the up and coming, the new savior in Cooper Flag. I get it, but a lot of it to me is just recycled.
Yeah, and I saw it was the first time the Celtics hadn't played on Christmas in a long, long time. I mean, the NBA is ruthless. You don't got your guy, we're not wasting any time. And that's the same reason the Pacers aren't playing on Christmas, I would assume as well. Look, when they make these decisions, they're really banking on these teams taking a step. If the Spurs don't actually take a step, that's a snooze fest, the Spurs at the Thunder. It might be a snooze fest anyway.
It might be that anyway.
Yeah, because the Thunder are just who they are.
And here's what else you got to realize now. Mm-hmm. You're going up against the Shield as well. The Shield is now stepped into that Christmas Day mode and be like, it's the logo, God rest his soul, versus the Shield. Which one do you want to cater to? The Shield always feels that they're number one, but the logo, they got to put something. They have to put something up to attract viewers to get it away from the Shield that day.
You know where I think the miss is for the NBA, and I know you probably won't agree with this because you don't want to see them, period. But I think that if you're looking at, and obviously what the NFL, you're battling against the NFL either way. But I think, to your point, Ramsey, I think, and I've got to be careful how I say it. I think the NBA pulled the Warriors-Lakers card too soon. I think if I were them, opening night is your night, right? You're not battling against the NFL on that night. I don't think you needed to use Warriors-Lakers there. I think, you know what? Because they're old, they probably did Warriors-Lakers because they're going to be healthy, but I think they would have I think they would have been better served making Warriors-Lakers the last game on Christmas, or you know what I mean? That Mavericks at Warriors, and don't forget Clay is there, but there's no Kyrie.
Still got AD.
Yeah, there's no Kyrie.
If healthy.
I think they should have went with Lakers. They should have saved. They could have swapped it, right? I mean, if you gotta have the Lakers. So you do Lakers on, maybe the Warriors. Look, the Warriors aren't good enough. They don't get opening night. You do Lakers versus somebody on opening night. That's fine. I would have done Lakers at Warriors on Christmas because that would have battled the NFL. But I don't see any of these teams.
But even then, you wouldn't have that game. It wouldn't be the late game. It wouldn't be the 7:30 game because they're not going to. They're not. The NBA is not going to have you wait. It would have either been the noon, the 2:30, or the 5 p.m. game if they did it that way.
Yeah.
Pacific time. But yeah, it would have been one of those three games because in the NBA's eyes, those are their three primetime games. The noon, the 2:30, and the 5 p.m. game. Those are their primetime games. The 9 a.m. game, that's the ESPN game. You always know it's going to be the Knicks or something East Coast because no one on the Pacific Coast is playing the 9 a.m. game, and you got to have a West Coast game at 7:30 because that would be 10:30 Eastern time, and the NBA is not scheduling a team to start a game at 10:30 p.m. East Coast time.
No, and just some other possible misses depending on how you feel about it. Could have had Mavericks versus Lakers, AD versus Luka. They did not go back to that well at all. Could have had Rockets versus Warriors. By the way, KD, surprise, surprise, was fighting with Warriors fans over the weekend, and he did say something that I don't know how Steph is going to take it, but KD basically was fighting back and forth with Warrior fans because he's got nothing better to do, and he literally said, somebody asked him, why do Warriors fans hate you? And he said those finals MVPs will always kind of sting them. Look, man, obviously I'm from the Bay Area. KD is tripping. You know, and social media is not reality. I don't know how much. I do have some stories of some hate for KD, but KD is, you know, when you're fighting with trolls, I don't think that should represent any full fan base at all. But KD going back and forth with Warriors fans and kind of said something that if I'm Steph, I might take a certain way. But with that being said, they decide not to go with the KD versus Curry, which, I mean, it does lose its luster when KD's on a different team every year.
It loses its luster. And to double back on a point I was making earlier about the NBA versus NFL, here's the NFL schedule this year, and they're hoping it's going to be competitive. It's 3 divisional games on Christmas. Cowboys at Commanders, Lions at Vikings, and then the closeout game, Broncos at Chiefs. So they're hoping those 3 games on Christmas Day are still competitive and have some meaning for each one of those divisions. So the NFL is strategic in what they're doing with the games they're trying to put up against these 5, which they came out with their schedule much earlier than the NBA. But they're strategic with the 3 games that they have, knowing that they're going to rival the NBA on Christmas Day.
Right. They are within, you know, obviously this Christmas thing is a bit new for them. They weren't in a position to, or they just, I don't know, maybe out of the goodness of their heart, they didn't bring they could have brought the big boys, right? They did not bring the big boys, and kind of that's probably just flexing on the NBA because they'll still do pretty well and they'll probably beat the NBA. But Rockets versus Warriors, the other note on that, they decided not to go with it, right? From the KD versus Curry perspective. Also, the Rockets just faced the Warriors and they went to game 7. So I think that was a missed opportunity. They also decided to go with no Clippers, no Celtics, like we mentioned, no Bucks, so no Giannis, no Pacers, as we said, and no Magic. But the Magic, they got to do something before they get that call. When we return, Josh Giddey got a call, and it wasn't the one that he thought he was going to get. Them price tags starting to drop. We'll tell you what it is reported that the Bulls offered him. They are so shameless when we return. Now, South Sacktown Sports.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents it's local, but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Get ready for the return of record-breaking speed. Saturday, August 23rd, the Johnny Brazil Memorial roars into Stockton 99 Speedway for a night of legendary racing. Speed Tour Super Modified, unleash mind-blowing horsepower and more. Gates at 5, racing at 7. Tickets start at just $20 at Stockton99.com. Be there.
Around here, the summer can smack you silly, especially if your AC is not functioning at a high level. Whitey Gleason here. I had the opposite problem over the winter. System went down. It was panic time, but Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating saved the day. Let them save you from unnecessary summer misery. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, reliable, trustworthy. They do great work. They've won awards for their service. Check the reviews at leesair.com. Find out about their $99 HVAC tune-up service. Save your summer now. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating on the web at leesair.com. License number 635355.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
High Voltage Live boxing action returns to the venue on September 6th as Uppercut Promotions presents 6 big fights featuring undefeated fighters. Thunder Showdown September 6th at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Tickets at Ticketmaster. Fight cards subject to change.
I got bread, got sauce, got guap. One question, you have it or not? You having, but ain't having like this. If you ain't got it, you can't have it like this. I got bread, got sauce, got guap. One question, you have it or not?
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Can I afford $1?
It has been reported, by the way, somebody saying Lions versus Vikings, Cowboys versus Commanders, Broncos and Chiefs. 916 says that's a much better slate than the Christmas slate for the NBA. Yeah, the NBA is tripping. You had to go LeBron and Steph there. They pulled the card too soon. And maybe if you're Adam Silver, I truly do think, I said this before the break, I truly do think they felt, hey, we want to make sure that we get them healthy. So we're going to play it in that way, and we are going to make sure that we get especially with Jimmy Butler and the crew, we're going to make sure that we get these teams as healthy as possible. Because the only thing worse than, I guess, skipping out on Warriors-Lakers on Christmas would be LeBron ain't playing and Steph ain't playing. And this has happened before with these older teams. So I understand where Adam Silver is coming from and why he decided to pull the LeBron-Steph card as early as possible to kind of kick things off on the right foot. But they're probably going to lose to the NFL. And maybe they would have lost to the NFL either way. I'm just, as the NFL is comparing themselves to Google and Apple at this point, they're not even comparing themselves to other kind of, organizations and sports organizations and pro organizations. So maybe Adam Silver is just saying, I'm going to take my medicine. I'd rather us have a really good opening night than attempt to beat the NFL on Christmas, and then we don't. Because they're not going to.
They're not going to. I mean, the only small drop, in my opinion, this is my opinion only, all the Christmas games are on a streaming service for the NFL. The first two on Netflix, the other one's on Prime Video. Which,
this is such a flex, though.
Which again,
if they beat them,
which again, Prime Video is going to have the NBA as well. So it's basically competing against itself if you're going to Amazon Prime. But yeah, that, like you said, it's like they did last year. They had them all on streaming services. They had the first two games on Netflix, like they did this past Christmas, and then went to Prime for the primetime game from what I can recall.
Yeah, by the way, some people are asking, Kyle is in a training right now. So that is the one, the only Ramsey with us for the 12 o'clock hour. And look, you know how I feel if you've been listening to this show. I don't like comparing the NFL to the NBA or any other sport, really. And I think it's fair if you want to compare them. I don't know if Roger Goodell wants to compare them to the Apples and the Googles of the world and real companies like that, that's fine. And media companies like that, that's fine. Because I've always thought it didn't make sense to me to compare a season with 18 weeks and 17 games to other seasons that are 82 games and 162 games. That never made sense to me. So maybe this will stop people from trying to, just say whatever they say about the NFL, comparing it to these other sports organizations when it's just different. It's just different. That's what it is, And speaking of different, Josh Giddey wishes that the offer from the Bulls was different in the form of more. It has been reported that the Bulls, their initial offer to Josh Giddey was for $80 million over 4 years. The Bull remains anchored to that $20 million average annual figure. So, and this is from RealGM.com. Rival NBA teams have had interest in Giddey, but only the Brooklyn Nets currently have the cap space to make him a significant offer. Other teams have interest in sign and trade deals, but the Bulls have been reluctant to engage in those trade talks. Other NBA teams have indicated that it's difficult to talk trades. This is my favorite part with Chicago because it's unclear if the Bulls are looking to move veteran players or to add to their team. So they can't really do business with the Bulls because nobody knows what the Bulls are trying to do.
I'll steal a line from the comic Cat Williams. Bulls don't know what to do.
They don't.
No.
They do not know what to do. All they know is that they have an opportunity to save some cash with Josh Giddey, and that's the only thing that they're focused on. And Josh Giddey is kind of stuck. We're not hearing as much about him as we are about Jonathan Kuminga as far as, who he wants to be and what we know that Josh Giddey thought he was going to get closer to $30 million, and he was snapped back to reality pretty quickly. But, from the perspective of the rival teams, and if the Kings are one of those teams, nobody knows what the Bulls are trying to do. Nobody knows what the Bulls are trying to do, and that's a problem. Speaking of the restricted free agency conversations, Cam Thomas, another one of those restricted free agents, he is planning on betting on himself. All right. And this is, in my opinion, an opportunity or a situation that could lead to absolute disaster for Jordy Fernandez, who we all love Jordy and we're wishing him the best in Brooklyn. But this feels like a terrible situation. This is from Jake Fisher. Brooklyn has not made an aggressive effort to retain Cam Thomas on any long-term deal, sources say. Sources also say Thomas is showing an increasing interest in playing out next season on a $6 million qualifier for the right to enjoy true free agency next summer. So I have this written down here. This is the current situation in Brooklyn. Cam Thomas is in a situation where he's going to bet on himself and he's going to return to a team that has no expectations, who has made it pretty clear that they're probably ready to move off of him. So he's essentially trying out for a different team while on the Nets, which tells me that this thing is going to be an absolute disaster.
Here's the cool part about all of this. Mm-hmm. These dudes that we're mentioning, they're going to be they're going into their 23, 24, or 25-year-old seasons. They're still young pups worrying about, as you said, this restricted free agency. I get where Cam Thomas, like you said, if he's on his Cam Thomas movement, we might get like 10 straight 40-point games as we got before. But at the same time,
he's gonna be pulling. That's what I'm saying. He is pulling. You're not playing to win as a Nets organization.
Cam Thomas ain't never met a shot he didn't like
already. So now add in everything that we just came across.
Cam Thomas stepping over the lines and shooting. He'll shoot from 93 feet if he had to.
So I think it's going to be, I don't know. Jordy Fernandez is going to earn his paycheck. I'm going to tell you that much, because you got, and they said the same thing about Michael Porter Jr., who they just traded for. So they're talking about Michael Porter Jr. is going to be one of these top scorers. They've given Cam Thomas a qualifying offer. I don't know how that affects if they would go after him in free agent. It feels like not, because why wouldn't you just lock him down now? He's in one of those positions where it's he's probably headed towards that two guard, slightly undersized two guard role that doesn't really defend at a high level. What I think is going to happen to Cam Thomas, and this might happen to him once he hits true free agency, he's probably headed towards that microwave scorer title, which means you're headed for six-man talk.
I mean, hey, and Vinny Johnson made a career being called a microwave, but doubling back to what you said about Jordy, the Brooklyn Nets are just to me, a young bunch of misfits that don't know how to play basketball, and that they all are about, I'm going to get mine, you better get yours, but they're not worried about anybody else on the team and trying to make it team basketball.
Right. And that is good if you're trying to continue to tank, but bad if you're trying to, and look, they got their own pick again, so they could, I just reran it, they could have the third pick in this draft and just continue to stack them up. That's probably part of it too, honestly. It's just guys in tough situations. We saw this happen with Jake LaRavia, bit of a different situation, but somewhat similar. It's just guys in tough situations, and life really comes at you fast in the NBA. Jake LaRavia is out here taking what was it, $12 million total? $6 million a year, and the brother plays. It's not a Malik Monk, Cam Thomas situation. He's 6'6", 6'7", shoots the three ball, defends at a high level. He is the prototypical player in this NBA, and he's got to be relegated to taking $12 million.
And he had to, because Memphis did him dirty.
But that's what I'm saying.
Memphis did him dirty by not extending the offer to him and basically making him a free agent, and his hands were basically tied. That's why, unfortunately, he couldn't sign back with Sacramento.
Right.
But again, going to Jake LaRavia, in comparison to majority of these dudes on this Brooklyn team, in my opinion, at least Jake LaRavia has some basketball IQ and knows what he's doing on the floor.
Right.
A lot of these dudes in Brooklyn, I have no clue of what they're doing other than playing. Act like they're going down the streets of Rucker Park and about to go hoop and be like, oh, we about to show out for this little small crowd at Rucker. But when they get together at the Barclays Center, They have no clue of how to play together in a system, what that means.
And that's not sad. On Jordy. No. To me, it's not on Jordy. It's just you have guys, again, bringing, Cam Thomas in this situation. Why would Cam Thomas have any. Why would he want to buy into anything?
Exactly.
He's trying to get his to essentially try out for his next team.
And my other thing is with Brooklyn now making that move. Is Michael Porter Jr. considered the chiseled vet because he won a chip with Denver and going to Brooklyn?
I mean,
I'm still not putting any faith in him being a vet and trying to lead people. So
is he their number one option?
No, it's probably Cam Thomas,
who's coming back on a qualifying offer, or they haven't even the wording was that they have not aggressively. Yeah, Brooklyn has not made an aggressive offer to retain Thomas.
No,
so they do not care. They do not care if they keep him at the end of this season. So why should Cam Thomas care about when they're trying to sink anyway? Maybe this works out for everyone, right? Cam Thomas gets to shoot 25 times a game. They stink. Cam Thomas gets paid to be a sixth man somewhere. Maybe he goes to Charlotte, somewhere like that, and the Brooklyn Nets get another top pick.
Yeah, I'm just seeing that we're talking about, I'm just looking at this roster according to ESPN. The Brooklyn roster makes no sense. I mean, they've got all these young, they drafted dude Danny Wolf from Michigan. They got Jalen Wilson from Kansas, who really hasn't done much. Dariq Whitehead from Duke. They got former Kings enamoration, Drew Timme.
Yeah.
They traded for Michael Porter Jr. I forgot they even picked up Terrence Mann after he left Atlanta. I mean, they still got Keon Johnson, who's been a project for multiple teams, for the Blazers, for the Clippers, not getting much run in Brooklyn. He's only 23. Dude Tosin Evwoman that actually probably played his best basketball at Golden One Center a couple years ago when Princeton won the 2 games here in the NCAA tournament. They got the other cat, the Slavic cat, Igor Demin from BYU that they drafted with the 8th or whatever pick it was. Mm-hmm. Still got Noah Clowney. Still got Nick Claxton as their big man. That team makes no sense. And they even got the French dude, Trey Ori, that they had, I think, 3 first-round draft picks combined with Cam Thomas and everybody else I just mentioned, and a Michael Porter Jr. who makes no sense. And Terrence Mann is the oldest player on the team at 28.
Yeah, it doesn't make a ton of sense, but this restricted free agency thing has been brutal for all 4 or 5 of them who are involved. When we return from the future of the NBA to the future of the NFL, when is the last time these many teams felt good about their QB situation? And who doesn't? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Americans may not agree on much, but we agree on Social Security. We all pay in. It ought to be there when we need it. Social Security could face a funding gap in less than a decade, and I don't want to see a pay cut. I'm with AARP in the fight to protect the Social Security we earn.
Pledge to protect Social Security at aarp.org/weearnedit. That's aarp.org/weearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now. Shaking body dry on the coastline.
Zach Bryan, live in concert.
This
Friday night, Golden Gate Park.
Baptize me in a bottle of beer with
With Kings of Leon, Turnpike Troubadours, and Nolene Hoffman. Zach Bryan. Tickets are on sale now at GoldenGateParkConcerts.com. Brought to you by your friends at Another Planet Entertainment.
Brought to you by Xfinity. Sports are unpredictable. The price of your internet shouldn't be. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One consistent internet price for 5 years with no annual contracts. Guaranteed.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports on FM40.
Listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Ramsey's been doing a great job for us. And I came up with this list, okay, as we were watching all the preseason games. And every time I'm turning on the TV, every clip that they go to when I'm watching highlights, every clip that they go to, right, they're all essentially saying, the same thing, right? You get the Titans feeling good about things. The Dolphins, all these teams, everybody feels good about it. The Giants, we're not really sure, when that situation will change, but they have a plan. So I started thinking, when is the last time this many NFL teams truly believed in their plan at QB? Maybe not their actual QB, because, maybe it's a bridge situation like the Seahawks or, as I mentioned, the Giants, but their plan at QB. I could only come up with 4 teams, right? 4 teams in all the NFL that don't feel good about their plan at QB. The Jets, the Browns, the Colts, and the Saints. Only 4 teams. Every other team feels good about their plan at QB. Now, we'll see what happens once the season actually starts. But I'm saying even right now, there were teams where, let's take the Raiders, for example. The Raiders, with some of their plans, whether it was Jimmy Garoppolo, right? They didn't necessarily feel great about it, or at least I didn't feel great about it.
Neither did I.
But now, they got Geno. I don't know how long Geno will play. The Raiders actually might need to be in this conversation. So I have a separate group, and I might have to include the Raiders in the second group. But in this first group, these are the only teams that are kind of sad as far as their situation. The Jets, the Browns, the Colts, and the Saints. Now, after that, these are teams that, and I think the Raiders and the Steelers are weirdly in the same position because, the Steelers, we only feel like they're only playing one. Aaron Rodgers is only playing one season. So I think the Raiders are actually in a better position because he might play more than one, Aaron Rodgers, but we know Geno will play more than one.
I got another team you can put in this situation. And you have it listed on a different situation, but I'd put them in the same situation. Tua Tagovailoa is one hit away from being out the NFL.
Okay,
Miami's got to question themselves.
That leads me into the questionables, right? The questionables I have, who they feel good, but anything could happen. I would say the Bears.
I'll speak on that in a minute.
Okay, the Bears, the Vikings, because we have not seen
J.J. McCarthy. We don't know what he is.
We haven't seen him play. The Seahawks, like I said, they have a plan, but Jalen Milroe, we'll see what happens there. He's a third-round pick. The Dolphins, as you mentioned, and I probably should throw the Raiders in there. They probably should be thrown in there because it's not as if they have Geno and behind Geno's a top pick.
Yeah.
It's just Geno for however long he wants to play. So 4 teams that actually don't feel good about the situation, and then 5 teams that don't really know how they feel.
And for me, getting back to the Bears, it's not the quarterback. I mean, partially it's the quarterback, meaning Caleb, Bears are one of my favorite teams. And my issue with Caleb Williams is he holds onto the football way too long. If he can't find something, he'll stand there and he'll hold on to it way too long and take a sack. But the other question with the Bears is, and it's been this way for quite some time, is the Bears' offensive line. Mm-hmm. The Bears hopefully solidified it. Hopefully it comes together. But if Caleb doesn't have an offensive line, the same thing's going to happen to him this season is what happened to him last season by taking close to 60 sacks. And as I said before, if he doesn't have something, he holds onto the ball way too long and takes a sack. Caleb, I get you might not want to mess up your stats. Let the football go. Protect yourself. It's better than taking a sack, losing yardage and things of that nature. But case in point, again, he had Eberflub, as I like to call him. Eberflus is his head coach. Hopefully the Bears have an adult in the room and with Ben Johnson and him being a quote-unquote offensive guru as he left Detroit, and see where we can go from there. And one last thing with Detroit, everybody's tabbing them to have another season similar to what they had last season. Take a small step back, because they not only lost Ben Johnson, our offensive coordinator, they lost Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator, to the New York Jets, his head coach.
Right.
And we saw what happened there a couple years ago to the Eagles when that happened, when they lost both Gannon and Shane Steichen. They slightly took a step back before they went to the Super Bowl last year, because you had to find a whole new offensive and defensive rhythm. Hopefully the Lions pick up where they left off at, but you got to look at them getting 2 new coordinators and see when that takes them.
Yeah. I wanted to work with Caleb, but
I do too.
We have to see more. So again, they feel good about it, but I think this is a huge season for Caleb Williams. And yeah, he is connected to the guy that went after him in JJ. That always happens.
He's connected. I mean, but again, if looking at it, would Jaden Daniels would he have had similar success with the Bears? We don't know. And to speak to the Bears, and I said it like this: the Bears haven't had a true franchise quarterback since Sid Luckman. So those that are Bears fans, what else? I mean, if they got to find another quarterback, what else is new? The Bears have never had a quarterback. So
right.
Yeah. So I mean, it would be nothing new. Hopefully, Caleb rights the ship, but you never know, and that's what the Bears fans go through every single year. Like, is this the right quarterback? Oh wait, we got to find another plug and play. Is that the right quarterback? I don't know.
Well, and the other thing is too, I mean, if it didn't work with Caleb, I think people already believe it is a curse, but that would be the ultimate, because look, Caleb, was he surefire? I think in that moment he was, and then, how he kind of went about his business, people kind of switched up on him a little bit. But when he was cooking at Oakland, when he kicked Spencer Rattler out of his position and then went to USC, that junior year or whatever it was, the second to last year at USC, that's when everybody thought, okay, this guy, when he won the Heisman, his Heisman season. So things changed that next season.
And even then, he still showed the tendencies that I mentioned at USC.
Yeah.
He still showed that sometimes he would hold on to the football too long and take a sack.
Yeah. The other teams that I mentioned, the Vikings, the Seahawks, the Dolphins, and the Raiders, I think they feel good about their situations, but they don't have enough. They don't have enough on record to fully be in the camp of, we know where we're headed next.
And the Raiders, I think, also feel good, not just because of Geno, because they're confident in the weapons that they have around him.
Yeah.
They're hoping, Ashton Genty just picks up where he left off at from Boise State. You're hoping Brock Bowers from Napa still does what he did last season. I mean, Jacoby Myers, they keep talking about this dude, Dante Thornton. I think it's Dante Thornton from Tennessee, the 6'5" receiver they got. They say he's supposed to be special. I like Jack Besh that they got from TCU. That man, if you don't know that man's story, do your research. He's playing for a higher power, and I think that just fuels and motivates him to play football.
When we return, Niners had their first preseason game, what to take away and what to take away from the rest of the NFL preseason so far. It's time to overreact in the 1 o'clock hour on South Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Seems like back to school happens earlier each year.
First day of school coming in hot.
And this year, my kids had massive supply lists.
Folders, notebooks, and pens. Oh, the humanity.
But Staples had everything I needed, with some items just 25 cents.
Watch the small print.
No. My back to school budget was saved by Staples Easy Button.
Everything for school. In stock and as low as 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
In store, online, and on the app. In C23 while supplies last.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Bing Maloney Golf Courses, 27 holes of high-flying public fun, and Bing Maloney is a classic design for golfers of all abilities. Bing Maloney's lighted driving range is a great place to learn and practice this summer under the covered hitting stations. The range also offers a practice putting green and outdoor furniture to relax with friends. Enjoy tasty beverages or comfort food from Maloney's Grill. The Association of Golf Merchandisers has named Bing Maloney a top 100 golf shop. For tee times, visit bingmaloney.com. It's Sacramento Golf's great value course.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Kalia Davis, Okay, people feeling good about him, good about them, not so good about the Spencer Burfords of the world, Alfred Collins of the world, the Daryl Luters of the world, and guys like that. Look, obviously, this is a brand new season, and it's just the first game, the first preseason game. But you do want to see certain players pop, and when you don't see certain players pop, it can make you feel a certain type of way. Right. And, I think what we saw from Mac Jones a little bit, early in this season and his connection with Jordan Watkins, this is the typical kind of last chance you system that the Niners run via their backup position. Hey, you're struggling a bit to find your way in the league. Go be a backup for Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy. Then you'll find your way to another team in a better situation. This is the Sam Darnold special. So is it about to happen with Mac Jones as well? Seems like it, because all you do, you only come in if the game's already out of hand in good situations or preseason situations, and that's pretty much it. Now, the backups for the Niners, it didn't look great as a whole as they all threw an interception, but you saw some flashes from Mac Jones. The one thing, and we were having some fun. During Friday's show, just as far as the difference in how the Niners are covered, and whether or not everybody is going about it with the right frame of mind. But the backup QB position, let's just hope Brock Purdy stays healthy. And I think that Mac Jones looked pretty good, but I do think that every time you see these guys play, it does remind you that Brock Purdy, it's not just a good situations do help. And no, Mac wasn't playing with the starters, but Brock Purdy is that dude, and is one of those dudes. He's not a top 5 or anything like that, but he is somebody that is going to put your team in a good situation. So as far as the Niners are concerned, I don't really know what to do with them. I think they'll win more than 9 games, 9.5. I think they were set at 9.5, or is it 10? It might be 10.5, but I know they'll get to 10. I'm just not sure what they'll get after that. Ramsey, you're shaking your head.
No, I don't. I think they went 9 at best. And first and foremost, Mama call him Michael McCorkle. I'm gonna call him Michael McCorkle. I'm not calling him Mac. Mama call him Michael McCorkle. I'm gonna call him that. But no, I think they get to 9 at best. Reason being, I understand everybody saying the schedule, but I don't see. I'm not led to believe they make as large of a jump as people think they'll make. They won 6 games last season. Winning 3 more games to get to 9 is a huge jump in the NFL. I get they got a 4th place schedule. I get all that, but they've got to show and prove that they can get back to form that they were at.
Yeah,
that's why in my mind, I mean, I may not be a San Francisco 49ers fan, but I'm saying realistically, I think they go 9-8 at best. At best,
healthy.
You're gonna have to show and prove it to me. Brandon Ayuk, he's not healthy.
No,
we don't know when he's coming back. We don't know what Ricky Pearsall looks like because he's still coming back. Both shout out Arizona, former Arizona State Sun Devils at one point, just like Chase Lucas. But again, and does Trent Williams play 17 games? Yeah. Never, because that man can't stay healthy. And for those that want to put faith, I'm not saying Brock Purdy isn't good, but there's a lot of other quarterbacks in the NFL I take over before I took Brock Purdy.
Christian McCaffrey.
He's got to stay healthy.
He's got to stay healthy. Look, Christian McCaffrey, they gave George Kittle the extension. He's another one that has struggled with injury before.
He always struggles with nagging injuries.
I guess you're just banking on the fact that they probably won't. Look, most teams don't stay healthy. It's just a matter of, can you power through in the moments where you aren't healthy?
Exactly.
My retort to that would be, if you are going to struggle with health, at least they're doing it against a pretty soft schedule.
They have a 4th place schedule because they finished in 4th place last season.
Sure, but they finished in 4th place because nobody could stay on the field. Now, if you think they'll suffer from the same thing this season, then I'm not necessarily going to disagree with you. I just think that they had really, I hate to use the word bad luck because the Niners and their injuries happens a little bit too often to say bad luck, but it was especially bad this past season.
Injuries are a part of the game, but like you said, yeah, they just kept piling on last season, and then it almost felt like they quit once they had too many injuries. They just chalked it up.
I guess there's two conversations to be had. If you think that the Niners are only going to win 9 games because you don't think they're going to be healthy, and then the argument is, well, if they are healthy, then they will win more than 9 games, then I guess those two arguments are completely separate. And because I would say that I don't want to agree with you, but I understand where you're coming from because they haven't been able to stay healthy. I do think that they have a softer schedule, but you are banking on a Christian McCaffrey who is now a year older, and the injuries that just kind of popped up. They moved on from Jordan Mason, who actually played pretty well. He's out there in Minnesota now, I believe. So you have that situation. We're talking about undrafted, rookie receivers who, they look good. So I understand where you're coming from. I guess the question is, how much healthier do they have to be to win 10 games?
Not just that. I'm looking at I'm looking at their schedule. They're saying it's off, but there's some teams on their schedule, in my opinion, that people are underestimating this season.
Please tell me.
I think Atlanta's going to be better than what people think.
I fall for that every year. So I don't know if I can fall for that again.
We don't know what the Bears are going to be. I mean, they've got Houston on the schedule. And
I'm counting Houston as a loss. I'm counting Houston as a coin flip.
Yeah. They're
not losing to Ramsey, you're not sneaking that in. They're not losing to the Bears.
They're
not losing to the Bears.
It depends on where you're at in the season too. Because that game's the second last game. But here's the one thing they normally always split with Seattle.
Yes, I agree.
They normally at least always split with the Rams. I think this year the Rams get both games.
Look, man, you talk about health.
Yeah, I get it.
Matthew Stafford.
I get it. If he's not there, that's a whole different story.
He's getting epidurals in his back and his disc.
They always find a way to split with Arizona.
I agree with you.
And in Arizona, I think Arizona's going to be better than what people think. And San Francisco always has a problem with Arizona because of Kyler Murray, because he's a running quarterback. Yeah. They always struggle with teams with running quarterbacks.
I'm with you.
And also San Francisco finds an odd game to lose throughout the season. I'm looking at one of them right now. It's a game after Thanksgiving in Cleveland. I'm not saying Cleveland's good.
Right.
I'm just saying it's that odd game. Weather might be bad.
Just give me the schedule.
First 2 games are on the road. At Seattle, at New Orleans.
They're obviously beating New Orleans, and we can give them that W. They're not losing 2 to Seattle. So let's just give them that W now,
okay.
2-0.
Next 2 games at home. Against Arizona, home opener. Against the Jaguars.
That's 4.
At the Rams on Thursday Night Football.
I'll give you an L there. Fine.
At Tampa Bay.
That's tougher than it has been, but they have had Tampa Bay's number.
I give them an L. They're going to Tampa Bay. 10 o'clock start. I give that to Tampa Bay.
I think it could go either way. I'm gonna give them 5
against the Falcons on Sunday Night Football. I think the Falcons sneak that game out.
I'm tired of falling for the Falcons. I'm tired of falling for the Falcons. It's all these birds. I'm tired of falling for the Falcons. I'm tired of falling for the Cardinals. So I'm at 6.
Okay. L right here at Houston.
Okay, fine.
At the Giants.
That's 7.
Against the Rams at home.
We already gave them 1, so they're going to get 1. So that's 8.
At Arizona.
Did they lose it? Did we have them losing to Arizona yet?
You said they were going to win at home against Arizona.
Okay, so that's the L. So we're still at 8.
Okay. Against Carolina on Monday Night Football.
That's 9. And I like what I've seen from Bryce, but that's 9.
I think they lose this game at Cleveland before the bye week. Because it's a tricky game.
Okay.
And tricky game, short week. 10 a.m. game. Could be weather in Cleveland.
Okay.
It's a tricky game.
I'll even give you that one. Fine.
Okay. Then they have Tennessee at home.
There's your 10.
Okay. At Indy on Monday Night Football.
Or that's your 10.
Okay. Then the Bears, and then final week of the season is at home against Seattle.
Yeah, man. I'm not seeing. I'm seeing I would feel more comfortable at 9.5, but I'd probably, and I might be tripping, but I'd take 10.5. I wouldn't feel as good about. Okay, so right now the Niners are at 10.5. I'm on MGM, bet MGM. Niners are at 10.5. Rams are at 9.5. Cardinals are at 8.5, and the Seahawks are at 8.5.
Wow. I personally think, if healthy, the Rams win the division by maybe a game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Arizona's gonna be better than what people think. Then you got San Francisco and Seattle. I think Seattle's finishing in last place, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because
which would be funny.
Yeah.
Because you have a 3rd-round pick in Jalen Milroe. This is what happens in the NFL. Are you going to fall for it, right? Do you actually like Jalen Milroe? And again, I don't think they'll be bad enough to get a top pick, but all it takes is one, whoever the sexy name is coming out of college, and then do you take another one and skip out on a different position? This is why I really do struggle, and I've been on this forever. This is why I struggle with the sitting a guy thing. Because it just you have to truly know that this is going to be your dude. Because you sit the guy, right?
And you're referring to Milroe?
Yes. You sit the guy, Sam Darnold. They end at 7 wins. Now are you going to stick with Milroe? You haven't seen him play. The sitting the guy thing, I think, should be required for specific situations. And you need to truly think that you have something with him.
And I don't know what I wasn't sold to Milroe at Alabama.
No, neither was I.
I don't know if he's a quarterback, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know what he is. So, I mean, if he's sitting for at least this season, preface minus injury, it's probably a good thing for him, because then he can potentially see what the quarterback position looks like, and maybe he'll turn out to be something. Maybe he won't. We don't know. But like we both are saying, from what we have seen in the past, we don't know Jalen Milroe is a quarterback. I mean, they said the same thing about the other Jalen that went to Alabama and Jalen Hurts, but he's proved us all wrong. I hope Jalen Milroe can do that as well, but his past has shown that we don't know what he is. We don't know if he's gonna be a quarterback.
No, I think he's gonna have some electric moments, but I don't really know what to expect from him. Getting back to a bit of the Niners, their next preseason game is coming up this Saturday against the Raiders, and that's what we're talking about, man. That's what we need. We need Niners. We need Raiders. And I get so confused. Is the NFL one of the most confusing situations as far as how they go about approaching it? Some teams, and I know Brock was dealing with a minor injury, but you randomly see Joe Burrow play a series. Some teams don't play anybody at all. For a while it was, we're not going to play at all until the third preseason game, and then they cut down on the preseason games. It's the most random thing ever. I know Major League Baseball is a bit random too, because they have full-on preseason, and the NBA can kind of be up and down, but the NFL, you just don't know who is going to pop up. You don't know who is going to play. You don't know who is going to pop up. And I'll tell you one thing. As far as the quarterback situation is concerned, and how we were bringing up quarterbacks that feel good about it, look, Jackson Dart did look good. So if you want to leave Jackson Dart alone, I know there's a kind of a Shador hive that they've been hate watching all the other QBs. But the Saints have to be thinking, and look, a lot of teams passed on Shador, don't get me wrong. But out of the teams that needed a quarterback, the dude they took is Tyler Shug. I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce it. Shug.
Also, hi, everybody. I'm back.
Yeah, Kyle's back. Thank you to Ramsey. That dude, and he had that clip that went viral, and everyone said, no, he was practicing something. That dude does look awful. Spencer Rattler, that's another L of mine. Okay, Tejan Salon in basketball and Spencer Rattler in football. Spencer Rattler does not look the part at all. I just don't know what the Saints were thinking.
You don't got to feel bad about Spencer Rattler, though. That was like a 5th-round pick. I don't think too many people were saying he was going to be good.
That's true. I thought so.
You know what? If you hit on any 5th-round quarterback and you say they're going to be good, just ultimate props to you. But the Saints, no one really knows what they're doing. But isn't what's that? Kellen is down there now. I don't feel like he's really been given the tools to succeed. It's just going to be the, hey, Alvin Kamara, do cool stuff offense.
Yeah, and that dude, I mean, his usage rate is just insane as far as how much work he's had to do these last couple of years for absolutely no reason, by the way. Absolutely no reason. They're not doing anything. They're not actually contending. It's just Alvin Kamara just wearing out miles on his body. That's pretty much what it's been. But I watched, the clips of the Saints game and then obviously Shedeur, and we spent some time last week on Shedeur and whether he was being set up for success. Kind of crazy for Nike to put out an ad on Shedeur from a preseason game, but all right, fine.
Look, the Shedeur thing is so interesting because like the NFL Network broadcast had like their highest rated draft in like, I think it was like pre-pandemic, since the pandemic year or something. So like people can't get enough of Shedeur Sanders, which I get it, that family being as famous as they are for what? Deion Sanders has been our lives for 35 years now. Like that family's been famous for a long time, but look, man, I don't get what sells anymore, but if it's Nike paid a bunch of money to Shedeur Sanders, they got to try and make it up somehow.
Yeah. I think it's going to do the same thing. Like we said, it's the 3 most polarizing people in sports right now. It's Angel Reese. It's Shedeur. Who is the last person again?
Yeah, I don't.
Bronny. Is Bronny.
Oh, Bronny? Yeah. I was going to say Noah Lyles at first, but that's only every 4 years.
Yeah, no, that's whenever he argues with Tyreek Hill and does something in some random race. That's when.
Yeah, only when we care about track, which is like once a year maybe.
Yeah, so there seems to be, I guess, people that want to believe in Shedeur really badly. And I don't think anybody necessarily wants him to fail really badly, but they think that it's a bit overblown. I don't know what happens now, right? Dylan Gabriel, if his hammy is better, I think he probably starts the next game. That's what he's higher on the depth chart. He needs to see NFL.
If any of them are healthy, like Kenny Pickett would play preseason games for them. He's trying to win a starting job.
Does he need? I don't know what to do with Kenny Pickett. Does he need to play? We know who you are. We know. Thank you, Kenny.
But do you know enough to say I'm just going to start you over Shedeur Sanders week 1 if those are your only? Because I think they'd want to go with Flacco, but I don't think he's going to play.
I think you just sit Kenny in a corner, and if Shedeur and Dylan don't look good, you just say Kenny go play. You don't need to see. He doesn't need to beat them out because you know what he is. They can beat him out. But he does not need to play.
I don't even know if that's true, though, because, like, Pickett wasn't great on the Steelers, right?
Right.
But then he was like, they brought in Russell Wilson. They were like, we're going to do a quarterback competition. And Kenny Pickett was like, no, thank you. I'd rather just be a backup on the Eagles. Than compete with Russell Wilson, who he maybe could have beaten out for the starting job.
No.
And now.
But they had Justin Fields, too.
Yeah, sure. But. They didn't at the time. They eventually signed Justin Fields, but not until after they traded Kenny Pickett. I agree with your sentiment on Kenny Pickett. I know he's a backup quarterback, but like, would I rather just play Dylan Gabriel just to see? Sure. I mean, Cleveland, who knows what they're doing? They just brought in Snoop Huntley too. Like, how many damn quarterbacks are they going to have?
Yeah, look, man. The Cleveland Browns, they got to be, and where this can take us into a completely different situation, but Cleveland Browns, they have to be one of the worst organizations in sports, right? I mean, just in general, they just never any time. And they showed Deshaun Watson on the sidelines, who they're still paying all that money to. What a complete disaster. I mean, we can go back to the Baker Mayfields, to the Johnny Manziels. that is how bad they've been at the quarterback position is impressive.
Well, yeah, I mean, the guy with the vest that has all the names of the quarterbacks on the back of it, even he's run out of space now. Like I saw the other day, if you try and add all 5 quarterbacks, it literally goes off the back of his vest at this point. So I don't know how you fix that, because that's the worst part, right? They had the answer. And then Baker Mayfield, give him all the credit in the world. He played through a season where he had like a blown out shoulder, a broken leg, a busted ankle, and he played the whole season. And you know what they did? They shipped him to Carolina.
Yeah.
Like they had the answer and they just threw it away.
But speaking of Carolina, we had the conversation about teams that feel good about their QBs now. How about Bryce Young doing and funny enough, Baker did it, but Baker, that was 2-3 teams later. How about Bryce Young completely flipping? That's how bad Andy Dalton was. Bryce Young was able to flip the narrative on him. And actually, so much of this is about confidence. I know people were joking about Trey Lance having Jim Harbaugh, who actually believes in him. Now, obviously, Trey Lance isn't going to play, but Jim Harbaugh actually believes in him and is a really good motivator. But Bryce Young, the very rare narrative flip where everybody was out on Bryce Young, and even I know he was, playing against backups or whatever the case is, but that play he had where he, tells the receiver to kind of cut back in, and they got McMillan there, and they have a nice little receiving core. I thought, we were going back and forth. I thought Ramsey brought up the Falcons, which is just kind of what everybody thinks every season. But I think the Panthers could mess around and at the very least be respectable. And who would have thought that Bryce Young, when he had the backpack memes and people said he looked like a middle schooler, who would have thought that Bryce Young was going to be able to turn this thing around?
I mean, I don't know if he's turned it around yet, but he's certainly he has.
The Panthers are not looking for another quarterback as of right now.
No, he has turned it around from he got benched and people were trying to get him for a 4th-round pick. So in that respect, he has turned a corner.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to have like a long NFL career or not yet. He still plays for the Panthers, a team I don't trust to put him in a position to succeed. But like, I stopped caring about like the draft evaluation thing a few years ago, but I was just sold Bryce Young is going to be awesome in the NFL. I was just like, there's no way this guy is not going to be excellent in the NFL. And I feel a little vindicated that he looks fine now, but we'll see. Carolina's got a long ways to go to be anything. Only just because their team is so young, right?
Yeah.
Like they
still got Xavier Leggett. I know sometimes you hear it pronounced Leggett, and his Raccoons.
Yeah, he got his Raccoons. They got Tet. They got who is their running back? Is it still just Chuba?
That's all they need.
Which I would say that's a young running back, but the way running backs work, he's like 26, which means he's only got 2 good years left at this point. And then I dare you to name someone on their defense other than Shaq Thompson. There's a J.C. Horn. Like there's nobody else on that defense.
I do wonder though, because it feels like these receivers. I was talking about this over the weekend. Feels like these receivers, there's an elite receiver every single season, right? Or a couple every single season, and how the receiver game has changed, and the college receivers are more so ready to go. We don't even talk about Marvin Harrison Jr., and he was supposed to change the world. Now Ohio State has another guy at Ohio State right now.
Oh, Jeremiah?
Yeah, he's supposed to really change the game.
That dude's going to be a problem.
But I'm saying we say this every season, though.
Yes, we do. And by the way, they normally do,
but
right?
That's what I'm saying. It almost feels...
Everyone's saying Ibuka is going to be awesome for the Bucs.
No, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And the Bucs already have receivers. We've seen this thing fluctuate back and forth between the running game making a comeback a little bit, but also teams throwing the football all around the field. I know we ran stuff last season, how teams were actually throwing less, but it does feel like the Bryce Youngs of the world. If you do not have just a ridiculous athletically gifted quarterback, right? And you're talking about a Mahomes, a Josh Allen. And this is why I think I go back and forth with Jalen Hurts, because he's not To me, he doesn't strike me as a point guard, if you will. It's a lot of boom and bust with Jalen Hurts and tush pushes and things like that. And they got that running game. The Eagles are just different, but it does feel like the quarterback play, the Jalen Milrows are going to go in the third round. We're just seeing another sway, right? As Anthony Richardson is making everyone look terrible. Let's just get a guy that can throw darts and let our receivers go to work. That's all we want. Give us somebody that understands that is a processor that can. Now, if you get up against what we still haven't figured out is whether or not those guys can beat the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, because I think the best version of that is Joe Burrow. He's like the ultimate version of the guy who's not crazy athletically gifted, but just does everything correctly. If you don't have a Joe Burrow, you just want guys that are similar to that, and whether or not they'll be able to beat the Mahomes and the Josh Allens, it depends. You just have to call a perfect game. But Brock Purdy was in a position to do that. If his coach knew the overtime rules, maybe they do it. It feels like we're getting to a point where it's let's just have our wide receivers that every season there are a bunch of ridiculously gifted wide receivers. Let's just have our guys get them the ball. We don't need you to scramble around and do a bunch of, backflips and things like that. We're not drafting Trey Lances the same way anymore. We're not, give us a Cam Ward. And I know Cam Ward has a little bit of that, but just give us guys that can dart the football and let our receivers do the rest. On the other side, we take it to the baseball diamond. My guy couldn't get a hit, and it was very, very sad. Also, batting averages, are they coming back? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity, introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, the accolades keep coming in for A's first baseman Nick Kurtz. Based on batting almost 400 with a slugging percentage of nearly 1,000 in July, he becomes the 10th player to be named Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same calendar month, joining the likes of Buster Posey, Mike Trout, and Aaron Judge.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge?
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. I love spending a day on the golf course with invited friends, but not with uninvited mosquitoes, which can carry serious diseases like West Nile virus. Don't let mosquito bites ruin your round or your health. Stay safe while playing golf, hiking, or enjoying the outdoors with family. Defend yourself with insect repellent. For tips about your golf game, listen for Golf to Go. But for more tips on protecting yourself and your home from mosquitoes, visit fightthebite.net.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Get ready for the return of record-breaking speed. Saturday, August 23rd, the Johnny Brazil Memorial roars into Stockton 99 Speedway for a night of legendary racing. Speed Tour Super Modified, unleash mind-blowing horsepower and more. Gates at 5, racing at 7. Tickets start at just $20 at Stockton99.com. Be there.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
I don't even know. Does Dave talk about the people that like use his likeness on the YouTube? This person, that's a picture of Dave. It says their name is Carmichael Karen on the chat.
Yeah, I'm usually nervous about those people.
Well, they say, yeah, I'm assuming Dave has seen this person before. I'll just call him a fan. The Browns and Kings are step for step. Really?
I feel like the Kings and Lions are more step for step, which I get is not better, but I feel like it's closer if you look at their history.
Yeah.
Like the Browns, it's weird because like you have the pre-relocation Browns where like they were actually kind of decent for a minute. I know they didn't go to a Super Bowl, but they were like actually kind of decent. And then you have the post-2000 expansion Browns, which have just had nothing good ever happen to them except for that one playoff game.
If we took away... Okay. I'm trying to compare, and I don't really want to do it because it's hard to take it away, but I'm essentially trying to compare adding Deshaun Watson, the Browns adding Deshaun Watson to some of the decisions that the Kings have made, but I think I'm going to stay away from that. The only thing I'll say is there are a couple bad contract decisions that both teams have made.
I think the Lions have too. I say Lions only because it's like 60 years of just awful with like a brief respite, right? And the Lions also are the Lions have a few of the worst draft mistakes of all time in there too, which the Kings kind of do also. But yeah, I mean doesn't every perennial loser have bad contracts though? Like I get none of them are as bad as Cleveland's, but
it just feels like the Kings, especially lately, let's say the last 10 years, it just feels, and I know the Browns snuck into the playoffs as well, so it is pretty similar because they snuck into the playoffs that one year the same way the Kings did. It feels like the Kings have tried to go about it in a better way than the Browns, and why I don't want to compare the Kings to the Browns.
Did they only go to the playoffs once? I guess they did. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say the last 20 years, the Browns are closer. I mean, at least Detroit's been to the playoffs a few times, but I feel like Washington is kind of like the Wizards are kind of the Browns of the NBA kind of situation. I know it's all very silly and there's not cross comparisons, but Browns and Kings doesn't feel fair.
No, It doesn't.
It feels unfair to the Kings, which I know the Kings also haven't been to the playoffs in 20 years, but other than that one season. But I just, for some reason, it feels so unfair to compare the two.
Yeah, and I just don't want to do it. I'm sorry. There's other ones. Dave likes to do the Lions, so we'll stick with the Lions.
I think the Lions is good for us.
Yeah, I'll stick with the Lions.
Plus, the Lions have had good fortune recently.
That's right. You know who hasn't had good fortune recently? That is the San Francisco Giants. Senor Segway strikes again. And they were terrible. Okay. They have scored 2 runs in the last 18 innings. They lose a series to the Nationals. They are 1-8 against the Nationals, the Marlins, and the Pirates. That's just not going to fly. And Drew Gilbert, if you watched SportsCenter this weekend, you probably saw Drew Gilbert in right field, okay, making a top play because it wasn't with his bat. Drew Gilbert did not get his first major league hit, which is very, very sad. I wanted him to ball out and the right field tryouts continue. Look, the Bob Melvin thing, y'all know how I feel about Bob Melvin. It never really made sense to me to extend him. And the Giants, who are still, 4 games back of the last wild card, they're not done, but it just feels as if they're not moving in the right direction. You know, at least you had Bob Melvin sit there and say, hey, we got to be better. And 40,000 people in the ballpark, and we're giving them nothing to cheer about. It's rough, man. It's rough. But at the same time, I did see this, which I found to be interesting. And y'all know that I'm pretty traditional when it comes to the different stats that are used in baseball. So this is from John Heyman. A batting average doesn't matter anymore, ? The top 5 teams for batting average are in first place in their respective division. So that made me feel good about it. You know, the more I dig deeper into this, the more I understand the OPS thing, but that's still where it's going to end for me. Batting average, OPS. I don't need the WOBA, XWOBA. That's never going to be me. It's never going to be me, but I do understand why people kind of obsess over the OPS stuff. But a good note from John Heyman that batting average might still matter more than people think. And I don't even really know why people are so against batting average when that became just a thing to kind of bag on. It's just the most, I guess, traditional classic stat there is in baseball, right? That's what it is. You get up, you try to get a hit. Yeah, you try to get on base, but you're trying to get a hit. I don't know when these, young millennials and Gen Zers try to just do away with the importance of batting average. It's just bizarre to me, right? It's the pulse of the game. When you get up to bat, you try to get a hit. Now, has that been replaced with just getting on base? Sure, but trying to replace it with, just getting on first base isn't good or isn't good enough. All right, that's my get off my lawn spiel for it. But Kyle, I don't know how much you saw. I really wanted Drew Gilbert to lock down the right field position. And the tryouts continue. I saw Tyler Fitzgerald this weekend in Sacramento. Kyle, they have moved Tyler Fitzgerald to right field.
Yeah, it's just going to be a revolving door. Can I just make a prognostication right now that the starting right fielder opening day for the Giants next year is going to be someone not on the team right now?
No. But that's what's so funny about this.
Like, not even on the River Cats. I'm saying just completely.
No, I agree with you, but that's what's going to be so funny about this. Somebody's going to it's going to be somebody at some point. And Encarnacion. This is the funny thing about the tryouts, though. Let's say Encarnacion had continued to play well. Maybe, not Tyler Fitzgerald hot, but just respectable. I still think they would have tried to upgrade it. So I don't even know what the point of the tryouts, it's almost to build trade value. Because I don't think if Encarnacion would have had to get as hot as Tyler Fitzgerald in order for them to give him the right for him to earn the right field position, they're going to upgrade it regardless. So this whole thing is futile.
Yeah, but this is kind of the problem we keep coming back to with the Giants, which is Buster Posey is spending a lot of money to make up for lack of player development issues. So now I guess they're trying to develop players, but they're not giving any of them really a fair shot because, like you said, it's gone from Encarnacion for 3 days, and obviously he got hurt, but it was Encarnacion for 3 days, and then it's going to be Drew Gilbert, and then it's going to be Tyler Fitzgerald, and then it's going to be some other fourth person who's with the River Cats right now, and they're going to move on from, like, they're just going to do so many things to not solve the problem that it eventually, I have no reason to believe Buster's not just going to go trade for some right fielder on another team.
And the trade might also include guys that were trying out for that position. That's the funniest thing out of all of this. So we'll see what the Giants can do. They face Kyle's team, Kyle and Whitey's team. Tonight, they have a series popping off against the San Diego Padres. Will they be able to turn this thing around? And, hey, maybe they can raise their level of play because, they're just really bad against the bad teams. Whitey Gleason joins us to close out the show. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Allen Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by DTLA Law Group. Max Muncy, out with that right hand fracture, has started to perform baseball activities, but still nothing as of early August. His expected return is late August. Jacob Wilson, out with that left forearm fracture, has begun playing catch and running. The hope is for him to return sometime in September. That was your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by DTLA Law Group. Hey, I'm Allen Stiles. Injured at work? Call downtown. DTLA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they have won over $500 million in settlements. DTLA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay $0 up front. Call downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com. Text charges may apply.
Bing Maloney Golf Course is 27 holes of high-flying public fun, and Bing Maloney's a classic design for golfers of all abilities. Bing Maloney's lighted driving range is a great place to learn and practice this summer under the covered hitting stations. The range also offers a practice putting green and outdoor furniture to relax with friends. Enjoy tasty beverages or comfort food from Maloney's Grill. The Association of Golf Merchandisers has named Bing Maloney a top 100 golf shop. For tee times, visit bingmaloney.com. It's Sacramento Golf's great value course.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Les Schwab Tire Centers and Bare Bones Workwear. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Labor Day savings explode at Elk Grove Chevy with $3,000 off MSRP on every new 2025 Trax in stock. $3,000 off Trax exclusively at Elk Grove Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MadeAChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Dealer for details.
Live and local
It's Allen Stiles
on Sacktown Sports.
One more segment with you. Whitey Gleason joins us.
Hey, congratulations on your podcast.
Thank you.
I won't forget about your podcast.
Yeah, I didn't even get around to it. Today was the first show, so everything was moving very, very quickly. But I have joined the Locked On family, Locked On Giants, the San Francisco Giants. That is because there's another one running.
Good time
around.
to get on board with them.
Yeah, we're gonna try to will them back to. Yeah, we're gonna try to will them back to the playoff race as they lost a series to the Nationals. They just do not play well. What was your feeling on Bob Melvin while he was with the Padres?
They underperformed, and maybe that wasn't all on him. Maybe none of it was, but they did kind of. It's hard to tell because they had that great playoff run in 2022 and he was there. But other than that, they did, whether it's him or not, they underperformed, Alan. I don't know how else to give you a summary of his time there.
Yeah, he seems like
he didn't get along with the GM at all. They didn't like each other.
He seems like a really nice guy, and I think a lot of people do like him.
He was always really nice to me when he was the A's skipper and we were doing shows down there.
Right. That's a little humble brag, by the way.
No, I worked for the flagship station.
I'm
And
just
he came
saying.
on once a week.
Yeah,
and
no,
when I threw out the first pitch, he's like, "You better have thrown a strike."
Oh,
So, he's
look,
my
there
guy.
you go. There you go. Another humble brag when I threw out the first pitch. Wow.
At the Coliseum?
Yes.
Where you used to sell pretzels?
I never sold pretzels. I sold pretzels in the streets of San Francisco.
So that's why you.
But
were,
anyway, he was a good guy.
That's why you were laughing at me because I said, "Hey, have you thrown out any first pitches?" When I threw out my first pitch, you said, "I've thrown out many."
I have. I'm sorry.
What's your ball to strike ratio?
It's not great.
Okay.
Not great if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I need a little time to settle in, and typically throwing out the first pitch, they don't give you a lot of time.
No. Sometimes with the really big stars, they'll have them playing catch on, the sideline or
right.
You know what I mean, off in right field. But maybe next time you'll get that.
Have you ever heard of Britt Reams? He used to pitch for the Expos.
Mm-hmm.
Tells you how far back he goes. And he was a River Cat in the A's organization. So I was throwing out the first pitch at a River Cats game, and he was the catcher, and he's in the crouch. And for some reason, I decided to throw a curveball. And I didn't quite get all the way on top of it.
No.
So I'll never forget it. And Britt Reams is back there, and he goes, "Oh, curveball." And he doesn't come out of the crouch. He just watches it go over his head. Thanks. All he had to do was stand up, and I think he could have caught it, Alan.
But I do.
Curveball.
But I do think that's the fear because you don't want to spike. Nobody wants to spike.
Right. I've done that too.
You can't spike.
Yeah.
You cannot spike.
Yeah.
So
Aaron Malin's better than Spike.
That's right.
And how did yours go?
Strike. I thought I showed you the video.
No.
You can hear the pop of the glove.
I'm not surprised.
You can hear the pop.
Mhm.
I'll show you after.
Okay.
This. Kyle. No, never mind. Don't worry about it. I was going to have you fire it up, but don't worry about
Which one? I missed it.
Why you never saw my first pitch?
Here's the dumbest question anyone's ever asked anyone. Did you post it?
Yeah, that is a dumb question. Immediately.
I know.
I don't even think I sat in my seat yet.
Before the ball was even caught by the catcher.
So
Alan had posted it.
What did you think about, and look, I understand. We're in August, man. We're here. We're here now. Okay?
Right.
Domantas Sabonis and what he had to say after his camp.
I'm not seeing the
Of course,
trolling.
of course you're not.
That's so.
Of course you're not.
Are we that desperate for material?
Yes.
When he says they listen to him, he's saying to Monty and Wes, I never listened to him. Yeah, you go, Domas.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm falling for it. He's telling us that something is coming. He's telling us that.
You mean when he said there's lots of changes,
right?
There's more changes.
Yes. What were you talking about?
I was talking about when he said, I don't know, a lot of people thought he was trolling the previous regime. And the only thing I heard in there that people could even in any way, shape, or form construe that way is when he said, oh, these guys, they listen to us, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I know that some people said he was taking shots at the old regime. I just didn't see those, Alan.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not. Now I've started you thinking, ooh,
well, now we got,
where was he taking shots?
Yeah, now we got tomorrow's show.
I don't know that he was.
Thank you. We got tomorrow's show all wrapped up. Thank you for that, Whitey. Well, speaking of shows, what's coming up on yours?
You know, the quarterback tiers today in The Athletic, don't know if you saw that, every coaches give their quarterback rankings in terms of top tier, second tier, so on. Mike Sando puts that together, and he joins us today to break it down for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, what we talked about today was how there's only about 4 teams that I counted that truly don't know what they're doing at the quarterback position, right? And on the flip side, it feels like there are a lot of teams that feel really good about it, and that to me felt unique, right? The only teams I had the Jets, the Browns, the Colts, and the Saints. Everybody else, you can make an argument. They feel good. It doesn't matter. Doesn't mean, or they feel good about their plan, right? I had some questionables with the Steelers and the Raiders what are you going to do next year? But this year, sure, they feel good about it. Felt a bit unique because I'm watching, preseason games over the weekend, and there's Cam Ward over here, and there's, Jaden Daniels. I'm thinking, okay, well, all these guys aren't going to, the Drake May in New England, all these guys aren't going to be good, and that's going to be revealed to us. But right now, only 4 teams don't feel good about their quarterback situation.
That's interesting. I appreciate that point. I would say there are a couple teams, and you mentioned one of them, who right now are kind of just crossing their fingers and closing their eyes going, yes, Russell Wilson is the answer. And you mentioned Pittsburgh. I think kind of a similar thing with Aaron Rodgers. Yes, he's going to be great for us this year, right? He's got to be.
Right.
And I think the Jets are kind of doing that too.
Oh, yeah. I got the Jets.
That,
I got the Jets.
Yeah.
All right, Whitey, hold on. It's up now.
Yeah, I'm just looping video of his first pitch on YouTube.
Hold on, Whitey. Let me make it big for you. Look at that.
Was good.
And you can't hear the pop.
All the way up on the mound.
Wait, hold on. You just watch it again. Okay. Look at this. Look at that, Whitey.
Did the full windup too.
Yeah.
Good hang time.
Well, in my mind though, when I did think, when I watched the video, I thought it had a little bit more.
So he said he was going to get to 90. I think that's a solid 75.
I thought it had a little bit more zip than that.
Yeah. Not a lot of zip, but right on the money.
I asked my wife, I'm like, did you slow the video down? What's going on here? Yeah.
You also immediately walked off the mound, like threw it and didn't even wait to see where it ended up.
Let me peel the curtain back. They had 3 different people throw a first pitch. They called it the starting 3. So I was the second person to throw it. So I just was, trying. I've been on the other side of that. The MC needs to get going. So I just thank you very much. There's my 90 miles per hour, and I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way, Whitey.
Ceremonial.
That's right. I'll be on my way.
Allen throws, and here it comes.
No, it was not.
I want to remind you, Allen does the PR. He does the public address system. And there it's in there.
No,
what a pitch.
He also almost wore his Oakland Ballers jersey. He was like, should I just wear it? I used to MC for them. You're in the High Wheeler Stadium.
No.
You're going to show up wearing the Rivals jersey?
They don't look too kindly on that in Yuba City.
I need to get back out there. The Yuba Sutter High Wheelers. And last but not least, Whitey, I don't know if you heard, but now we have Tim McMahon confirming what we already knew, that Russell Westbrook and the Kings, they have interest with one another.
Right. I don't understand it at all.
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
Yes.
That's what Domas is telling us, that something is coming.
Yes.
A big move is coming.
Yeah, that could be that, but I just don't understand. We had Jerry Reynolds on Friday, and you can hear what he had to say about it at SackdownSports.com. He said, I'm with you. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and this kind of, I'm just thinking about this now, Kyle. We'll talk more about this tomorrow, but we don't know who's behind the Westbrook thing. I think it's Scott Perry because it just feels like a Scott Perry
could be
thing, right? It's either him or it's
feels
his
like
boss.
Somebody else to me, but I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough. And
that's a third one we hadn't considered.
Now this is what we like, baby.
Guess what we're talking about tomorrow?
Thank you, Whitey. What do we have tomorrow? Tomorrow's show, we have was Domas throwing shots at the previous regime, and we have who wants Russell Westbrook?
Who is ordering the Westbrook?
Was it Scott Perry, Doug Christie, or a third party?
Wow, Whitey. This is why you're the pro.
Well, thank
This is why you're the
Thank
pro.
you, Alan.
But if it is Scott Perry, would it worry you, right? Just as far as us feeling good about moves that make sense and this one not really making a ton of sense?
It wouldn't worry me. It's too early to worry. I would worry more if it's someone else, getting that involved already. But I don't get it. And maybe he comes in and maybe people are excited. But I know the Kings are kind of moving two directions at once. This is one that to me is like, you'd be better off not doing.
Yeah, that's the last thing.
And that's not even against Russ. It's just his fit here.
Right. That's the last thing. We were going back and forth with the tanking conversation. And I said, look, if you are in the mindset of, I don't want to tank, I want to quote unquote go all in, then these are the conversations. If you're going to try to go all in with this group, I would say and I wouldn't do this, but Keegan, everybody, nobody's quote unquote untouchable right now. There are clearly guys that they don't want to move. I would say Keegan, Keon, even the 2026. I mean, you could get a haul for that if you want to do that. I think right now the problem is the Kings are kind of in the middle. And if Dennis Schroeder has a good year, if these guys have a good year and they go ahead and get to that 9 seed, whatever, where they've been before, and they kind of mess up that, just by that much, the percentage of that 2026 pick is just why? Why are we doing? Why again?
Yeah. Well, at least we know they're going to be 2-0, right?
Well, they're going to be 3-0 because the Lakers are still be figuring it out.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. And that's I have them going at worst 13-7. It's the first 20 games.
Okay. You've seen the first 20 games?
No.
Okay. All right.
But I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
All right. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson, the Drive Guys. Coming up next, thank you all the callers, texters, Sack Chatters, and Kyle Ledbetter and Ramsey, featuring Ramsey. Until tomorrow, secure the bag like the bean.
Don't forget about my podcast.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.
The Allen Stiles Show.
Are the Kings the one team in the league